I just love learning things. Like, I'm a nerd at heart. If I'm not playing the game, I'm like watching tutorials. 2 hours later, I'm watching a little Indian kid make a 2-story bedroom out of clay with Wi-Fi and an indoor swimming pool and shit. Sending my fat ass eating Doritos. Like, oh, that's cool. Yeah. I should do that.
3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to episode 49 of RUSE Radio. We're back. We're at it again with another very special guest. Special guest, could you please? Actually, special guests, because he brought a surprise person with them. What?
The guest brought a guest.
The guest brought a guest.
But it's me, your boy, Clouds. Kevin Clouds, if you don't know.
And oh, shit. We got to move this microphone as close.
Hey, and it's your boy, Wizard Weet. Hey, you know me.
The Wizard.
Weed's just going to be yelling from the corner over there the whole...
That's fine. That's fine.
Hey, what's your name?
So,
Tony.
So if someone's coming into this, now most people probably already know Kevin Clouds, but if they don't, what would you tell them? How would you sell Kevin Clouds to them real quick? What is he?
Man, I'm the coolest white boy in the world.
What?
You know? I obviously, race has nothing to do with it. I am the coolest person in the world. But if you don't know, I make music. I am the owner of Wav Village, which is a recording studio in downtown Flint. We'll be talking about that here shortly, I assume. Weet is one of my partners. And other than that, I'm just, typical normal guy, father of 2, good friend, good child, parent, typical average guy. You know what I mean?
But also the best white guy ever.
Coolest white guy ever. I don't know about best, just the coolest. Like, that's my goal in life. Like, I don't want to be the smartest man. I don't want to be the most handsome man. I don't want to be the funniest. I just want to be the coolest. Like,
that's
beautiful.
I mean?
Like, I just want to get along with everybody, be cool with everybody.
Well, what is it to be cool? Is that it? To get along?
Yeah, to get along. I mean, to accept people who they are. Accept yourself for who you are. Know what you want. Have a purpose. Live with integrity. Try not to bother nobody. Stay out the way.
Yeah. I think the coolest people are the ones that just get along with everybody. Like, I mean, I had a friend in school who was like that, who just seemed to know everybody, and he got along with everybody I knew.
Dude, yeah.
He was the coolest guy ever.
Honestly, just recently I had a very long moment of self-reflection. I was kind of trying to recreate myself in a sense, and it's like I found myself in the last couple of years where I've had moments where like I've been abrasive or I was off-putting, and it reflected with the support that I was getting with people. It's like no one wants to support an asshole or someone who comes off as arrogant or someone who thinks they're better than everybody else, but everybody wants to support somebody who makes them feel good. You know what I mean? It's like you make somebody feel good, they're going to remember that. Just like if you make somebody feel like shit, they're definitely going to remember that too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
well, was that happening in person or in social media? Like, was it both?
I feel like I had a hard time when I started making music, like separating myself from who I am as an artist and an entertainer from who I am as a person, as a real person. I feel like that was a struggle for me in a sense, is juggling like who I am on stage on the microphone and who I am in real life. And not that I'm like living separate lives, but you know how it is. You do develop egos in this industry, and you deal with egos, and there's a lot of people who come off with low vibrations and shit that you deal with negativity, and it carries and it harbors inside you, and you kind of get caught up and drawn into that. And then there's moments where I know like I was abrasive online. I said things that like didn't reflect who I was as a person. So I had to realize when I started running analytics on my music, like, why are people like not really fucking with me? Oh, probably because I said some stupid ass shit. You know what I mean? Like, I had to sit there and realize like that ain't the way to go.
Well, but were you just saying stupid ass shit on Facebook? Like, is that how that goes? Or were you just out here just saying stupid shit to everybody?
I know, and like real life I wasn't, but like like online you try to come up with all these strategies to
I see.
garner traction, and it's like
so it's something. The way you were pushing yourself.
Yeah, like let me be extremely controversial, and let me just say I'm the hardest rapper in the city. You know what I mean? And then, like, you know what I mean?
I think I remember that stage of you posting that on Facebook.
Just saying wild shit,
I was there.
You know what I mean? Like I would always always be saying some wild shit. Next thing I know, my friends would be getting calls like, Kevin, why'd you say this? Or like people are hitting me up telling me, you know, they don't fuck with me, or they're posting things about me or deleting me, and I'm like having to go back and think about like, why is this happening? Oh, it's because of me. I got to be accountable. I got to change the way I approach this. This isn't working for me.
See, I got lucky. This is what happened to me. I lost my original Facebook, and I deep down I knew this is how I refresh. This is how I can start over. Just good vibes on Facebook now,
dude.
Because the thing is, it tricks you into doing it. Facebook tricks you, so you just can't fall for it.
Yeah.
And it's the way you put it with pushing yourself is a really good way to put it. If you're an artist, like you don't want people to even look at you as the guy who's trying to be the controversial Facebook. Like you can post stuff that's opinionated, but you don't want to be like, I'm the hardest in the city, because that comes off.
And I think it was like the troll culture too. Like you see that every day, and like you're part of this culture that's like relative to the hip hop culture which you're in, and it's like everybody's stunting on everybody and like trying to be the man and like walking around beating their chest, and it turns into a dick swinging contest. And then it's like, you know, it's like, is this who I am? Is this who I want to be? Like, it got to the point now where like, I don't know if I had like some kind of J. Cole type epiphany, but like, I don't even fucking wear jewelry no more or nothing. Like, it's not even important to me. Like, I don't care to try to impress people. Like, I really just want to be cool with everybody, get along with people, appreciate people for who they are, and just, you know, enjoy this little bit of time that we have on this planet together. You know what I mean? That's it.
Yeah,
Make
man.
some music along the way.
I think that's what music is about to me too. Is when you see a concert and it's just a bunch of people enjoying music. To me, it's illustrative, whatever the word is.
Yeah.
But it's indicative of what music can do, because you see it bringing people together. And I think music can do that in a way that nothing else can. You can hear music in a different language. You don't even know what they're saying, but you understand what's happening. And
it's extremely liberating too, because I feel like I really found who I was among this journey. You know what I mean? Like I needed that moment of self-reflection, and like I had to realize this ain't it. This ain't who I want to be. You know, it got to the point where it was making music not fun. Like it was more like a competition. Like, and I don't ever want to feel like I'm competing with people, because for me, it's like you said, music. The intent of music is to make people feel things. It's to feel something. It's a way to express yourself. Yeah. For a long time, I wasn't sure who I was. You know what I mean? So like, it took me a minute to figure that out.
When we all go through that, man. It's not just you.
And now, like I'm in like this. I'm approaching the third year of artistry and in my career, and like I'm actually getting more comfortable, and like now I know who I am. I'm a little more secure as an artist. You know, I'm not feeling the pressure of trying to fit a mold, or like trying to force my music upon people who would normally, you know, don't listen to it or whatever. I'm just, you know, just doing me now, and if people come along the way, then cool. If not, and then that's cool too. You know, whatever.
Yeah. So. Has that changed the way that you write your music?
It does. I actually have more fun now. I'm more inspired. I'm more motivated. Like I said, when it's not a competition, and kind of like we discussed earlier, when it doesn't feel like work, man, you feel like a kid again. And I don't know if you've ever wrote a song that had you like feeling high before, but you can get high off music. Charlie can vouch for me on this. Like the most incredible high, the most euphoric high that you'll ever feel. Like, dude, make a song that means something to you or somebody, and you will experience that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That day over on Corona Road, just like that, and then the song for your cousin or nephew.
My nephew, yeah.
Yeah, dude.
So
like, made a beat for him, and then right after that, made just like that, bro. It was like I was so high, bro. I was just like geeked up off of the music, bro. I was like, it's something I haven't felt in a long time.
I still chase that high to this day, and you know, I think that's like. That's part of what keeps me going as an artist. You know, I'm sure maybe you can probably relate. You know, you make that one song and it means so much to you, and then you're like, all right, well, how can I do this again?
What was it about the song that meant so much to you?
Honestly, the song with my nephew, that wasn't even my song. I actually got on it, and we never even released it, which was crazy. And it's a good song, but I think what it was the experience itself. Okay, so he came in with just a notepad. It was just a couple lyrics scribbled down. And he started singing them in the mic, and this kid had never sung before ever.
Oh, so he wasn't an artist at all?
No, this is his first time, ever doing that. And then Charlie,
this is a cool story.
Dude, Charlie coached him up. That's what's dope about having an engineer. If you're an inspiring artist and you're listening to this podcast right now, you're watching, find yourself an engineer to work with you. Bring him along the way. Let him help develop you as an artist. But anyway,
bring him to your podcasts.
Bring him to your podcast, dude. I'm taking Charlie everywhere. My engineer's going everywhere with me. So just so you guys know, if I make it, he's coming with me. But so my nephew's in there. He's like mumbling these lyrics that he just scribbled down on this piece of paper.
Like, he didn't have the performance in him yet.
No, he kind of just had like the cadence and like the, you know, was working on the melody and the delivery, and then Charlie, you know, kind of pushed him a little bit. No, you know, like he worked. It was kind of beautiful how he did it. He kind of like gassed him up, encouraged him, and like, you know, kind of like a little, you know, a little duckling, a mother duck, like pushing the, you know, their little duckling into the pond. He was like pushed him into the booth and then pushed record. You know, he starts.
Well, we got that one take.
Yeah, he starts singing and he got a good take. So he had a good take. Charlie like basically cut it as almost like a sample or a 4-bar measure. Looped it. Basically looped it. And the next thing you know, Charlie just starts going crazy. Adds a little guitar. And then from there, he starts adding the percussion and a synth and like all this stuff. And next thing you know, now we got a backbone and like something to build on.
I see.
So we had, you know, a beat. And then we send my nephew back in there and he basically does a song and it turns out dope. And then Charlie ends up breaking it down and kind of freaking it up and adding this little hip hop vibe to it with some 808s and shit. So I go in there and I drop like a little 8-bar verse. So like that whole creative process is building a song from scratch in the moment off of nothing but a few scribbled words on a piece of paper and just like the pure dedication to like make music. You know, it's a feeling that I really can't describe. You know, I don't know what words to even choose to try to tell you.
Well, it just happens like that. Yeah. It was almost as if you were just riding that moment.
Yeah, and I think that's why it's so hard to recreate, because you can't really plan it. You can't really like be like, hey, Thursday next week I'm gonna go fucking get high on music. Like, you know, you can't do that. It's not like you can call the dope man up and be like, yo, I need a bag. I need to get high. You know what I mean? It just it just has to happen, and it's just such an incredible feeling. That's what like made me really fall in love with the process. You know,
I think that when it comes to making music, that's really where a lot of the magic comes from, is when it's truly organic. Like like when you're making a song, and like I remember hearing Eminem say that when he wrote, it was a Marshall Mathers LP2, that he didn't write the songs with the verse length in mind. So he was just going with the verse as long as it felt right, and then he would cut the verse. Which I'm sure if you go back and listen to the album, there's a verse that's like 18 bars, and then there's like a 35 bars, like weird stuff like that. Yeah, it's like
very asymmetrical.
Yeah.
You know?
But to do it that way is I think a passionate way to do it, because then you know that he's being thoughtful about it, because he's just doing it as long as it feels right. And I think things like that, like song choices like that, can even show that somebody's in it. Like I've written songs where it's like, oh yeah, a bridge would be awesome right here. And then you write the bridge and it feels perfect because you knew the bridge belonged right there. And so stuff like that, or I'm sure even making a beat, you can be in the middle of a beat and be like, yo, I could just drop this like fucking hi-hat out right here. And then you drop the hi-hat out and it sounds dope as shit. And it's like the visualization aspect of it, I think, keeps it alive, because it's so cool to just see that become something out of your brain. To me, that's the magic.
Sure.
That's what I love the most, is that I can just 22 hours ago, this wasn't here, and now it's something of its own.
And honestly, I feel like part of the magic and allure of it too is it's like, I feel like it's like a dying art too. I feel like songs, obviously you're gonna hear everyone say music's not as good as it used to be. Arguably, rightfully so. You know what I mean? Like, people had to be more, they by nature had to be more talented because technology wasn't as good. Like, when you went in there to do a take, you had to really sing that shit. Charlie ain't gonna be able to come up, sauce you up with the auto tune or the meta tune.
Back in the day, for sure, because so if we're talking analog, that was just what they ran through it, is what you sound like.
One take Jake. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't fuck up.
Yeah, not everybody had access to
Hey, I got this phone for you. You can just hold the bottom of the phone up as a microphone. Like, just hold it right up to your mouth, and then just set it on that couch when you're not using it. That way we got you mic'd up.
And now you know how it is now, especially, you know, with the Detroit Flint style wave, with the way they record, you know, like, and I even do it now. You just punch in. So it's like, I don't want to say it takes away from the creative process. Like, it's still fun and unique in its own way, but I don't feel like we're really sitting down as artists and like really drawing in inspiration from the world as we see it and like really creatively writing compositions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, that's my problem. Like, I don't want to hate on, because everything's its own vibe. Like, there's
For sure, no shade.
yeah,
you know
like
what
there's
I mean?
the Flint sound, which is kind of a fun thing. For me, that's fun, and it's even fun to have a song
it's
like
fun
that.
as hell. I even do it, so, like-
yeah, and you can do it, and it can be a fun. I think it takes the right artist to do it well, in my opinion. Just like anything else.
Yeah.
Like, you have people who can approach that and be really, really fun with it, and it's like they understand what it is. Just like anything, you'll have a lot of people who just kind of are riding a wave. It's just how music goes. So to me, that sound can work, but it's like I heard what Weet said when we were talking about this off the air. You have to do that gritty sound the right way, or else it can just sound unmixed almost. Like, you have to have the right approach and make it almost sound like it is over the top, but
Yeah,
like
yeah, for
intentionally.
sure.
Yeah, because that's what they're going for. But
And
I
you
think
know,
a lot of it is just throwing something at the wall.
That's a sound that's hot, you know,
Yeah.
with the clipping 808s and the muddy, distorted, like,
Yeah, you can thank
know,
X for that
vocals.
one. X started it all. It was
X
him.
did. He was actually a trendsetter. He did. Like, that boy would blow your speakers out. You know,
Yeah,
fucking
and
with
he
X.
did it well. That's what gets
He
me. Is
did.
people? I don't think they took the right parts of what he was doing. 'Cause
He-
he was he made almost metal rap when he was doing
Oh,
that.
bro, it's safe to say he was ahead of his time.
Yeah.
You know, for sure.
And he would still be.
Yeah, that's the thing too. Is if X was still here, he'd probably still be on top of the game now. And he was one of them artists that I feel like you could put him on any track.
He
with
changed
just
up
about
his
anybody.
sound
Yeah, like
a
he
couple
could,
times.
Yeah, he could hop on anything. Like, honestly, I drew a lot of inspiration from him when I first started too. He was one of them artists that I was really listening to a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When I first started, fucking around with music again.
Well, that's a good way to get us into where did the name come from? Because I really truly do wonder. Kevin Clouds.
Because I'm a pothead. I ain't gonna
Yeah.
lie. So basically, all right, fun story. Before I was a music artist, I was a poker dealer for like almost 11 years. You know what I mean? But on my breaks, I'd always go out and fuck in my car and get high and shit, smoke a blunt or smoke a joint or something, and I'd come back to the table and deal my cards and shit, and all the players would just start calling me Clouds, Kevin Clouds, because like I'd go on break and I'd go hop in the clouds and I'd come back stinking like fucking weed. But what's crazy is I was such a badass dealer that they didn't give a fuck.
So your dealer name was Clouds.
Basically, yeah, they just all like all my friends. Like I grew like a lot of friendships, with a lot of the people there. Like I'm actually really involved with the gambling community, believe it or not. And don't gamble. If you do have a problem, there's a hotline. We'll post that number here for you right here.
Yeah, I'll edit it right in. You know what?
No, but for
You know
real.
what's funny? I'll see like YouTube ads for gambling services, and at the end you get the gambling hotline. I think they're legally required.
Yeah, for sure. But no, man, I was a badass dealer, bro. Like, not to toot my own horn, but I was one of the best dealers, around this motherfucker. Like,
Yeah.
I would literally go.
Shout out Clouds.
I would go to Vegas and do the World Series of poker in the summer. I'd go out there and work.
Uh-huh.
And I dealt cards to some of the most famous people in the world. Athletes, celebrities, Hollywood directors. You name it. But basically, yeah, they started calling me Clouds, and it just stuck. Like, that was just my nickname. And when it got time for me to make music, I didn't really have nothing to like really go with, and it's like I kind of just want to be me, like I'm just gonna be me. So Kevin Clouds,
That's beautiful.
yeah,
That really is a great story.
yeah.
I couldn't have asked for anything better.
Just a piehead, yo,
Yeah, well, it's almost like a superhero origin story.
for sure.
They called me when I was a kid.
Yeah, see, I've already had my villain arc, and now I'm like, now I'm like coming back to like save the world. You know what I mean?
We're
So
in
it's
season
like-
3.
Yeah, for sure. Stay tuned. You know what I mean?
So I got I usually with podcasts I just talk to people, but lately I think, you know what, I'll just come up with something. I'll make myself seem prepared. So boom, I got a notebook.
I like the notebook. It looks
Yeah.
like you actually took like notes.
Yeah, I did. I
Yes,
put
yeah.
bullet points on here.
Absolutely.
And the very first one.
you guys are getting a real podcast.
Yeah. You guys are watching a professional at work, okay?
All right.
Okay.
Kinda
We'll watch
nervous.
professionals.
Kinda
Weed's
nervous,
working hard
man.
over there. He's thinking of beats in his brain.
Right.
Yeah. But that gets us.
I'm struggling to think of the stuff to say, man. I'm just a quiet guy.
Yeah.
Weed is also.
I feel
a pothead.
like the brain just has 808s going on the whole time.
For
That
sure.
might be what
Yeah.
the secret is.
Trying to get the hi-hat rolled down.
Yeah, for sure.
There's just different 16s going on in there.
Yeah, just finding the tempo to the conversation.
He's like he's listening
Yeah.
to Kevin going, "Oh shit, this is the beat for what he's saying right now."
layering beats.
Yeah.
Saucing my vocals up in his mind right now.
It's a shame there's not a laptop on his lab. Like, we should just put headphones on him. He doesn't need.
I mean, it's okay.
Oh, there is one.
Yeah, it's just a little bit further away.
Yeah, that's just in case. That's just in case anything good happens, and it's got to get put down somewhere.
You never know.
That's good, because I don't bring a laptop places. Same thing with, like, I was thinking with the podcast, that'd be great if I could just roll up, have my laptop, my whatever, and just
That would be
record.
dope to do like a podcast on the go type thing. Just go set up wherever.
Yeah, because people, I feel like when you say, like, even though they're coming to a studio, people usually, like, if you meet them somewhere, they're more willing to do whatever. It's just getting a good spot. Yeah.
Plus, it is, like, if you get people where they're most comfortable, you probably get a lot better content.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe not better, but just, who knows?
Interesting.
Yeah.
You get something.
Yourself a backdrop.
Yeah.
In case there's clutter in their place, you know. Cover up the clutter. You got a little space. Bam.
There's a podcaster named Lex Friedman. I think he travels to people, and he just brings a black, like, curtain, and that it always looks the same, but he's in a different place because he just puts the curtain up right behind them.
I know about Lex.
Yeah, you know my guy.
Maybe we can do the next podcast at Wav Village.
Well, yes. This is okay. So I'm gonna skip what I was gonna talk about because that's a better segue. Wav Village.
Yeah.
So we got a whole story here. Now I don't know if you guys wanna.
We can talk about
We can
it all,
retell
the
it. We can
good,
redo
the
the whole.
bad, the ugly.
Yeah?
It's just, it's kind of public information at this point. Long story short, for those who do know, we built a studio in downtown Flint towards the end of 2019. We occupied the space for a good 9-10 months before we actually went in there and, did some construction and soundproofed everything, built the studio. We were open by 2020. We had a couple issues with the building and the roof that caused it to shut down a couple times. We managed to make it through, multiple reconstruction phases to ultimately get to this point now, where the building has been condemned and now we're forced to relocate. So to make the story short, due to circumstances beyond our control, we are now looking for a new place.
Yes. Due to circumstances beyond our control.
Yeah. So,
is there anything else you can say beyond that, just so people understand the level to which you were not involved with this?
it's extremely frustrating because, last thing you want to do is get on here and like try to bash people or point blame or whatever, but people do need to be held accountable for things that they did. There's a lot of innocent people, hardworking people, people like myself and my partners who, we dumped, man, like a lot of money.
Was it tens of thousands?
I'm talking almost 60,000 of money that that we had to round up ourselves and get it basically out of the mud, like money that we could have used for essentially anything. But we had a dream and a vision, and we were determined to make it work. And then we did it, rightfully so. Like we made it happen, and it was a beautiful feeling to walk in that building and just look around and be like, wow, we did this. It all started with a fucking idea and a plan, and we executed, and now look at it. But
again, due to circumstances,
the
beyond our
owner of the
control.
building basically did not take care of the building like he was supposed to, and now it is condemned. The city, the government stepped in and basically shut it down. So
Yeah, with that bus, the MTA bus, I feel like that kind of started it. I mean, there was obviously, it's 150 years old. The building is old. So
dude, yeah, it's a historic building for one. So that people don't know, the Patterson building is a protected building. It's a
I didn't know it was
historic.
that
It's a
old.
historical building. Yes, actually, it's been around as long as GM has been around. The initial purpose of that building was to paint horse carriages, to assemble and paint horse carriages, and then they would ship them across the street to where. Basically the factory where GM was conceived.
Yeah, Factory 1's pretty old, too. I wonder if they're around the same time, because that building's still up. I wonder if they're maintaining that one. Because you got to wonder if it's just a laziness in this particular building. I mean, I sure hope it's not. No, when I say laziness, I mean failure to maintain the building. Because it seems negligence
is a great word for it. Because the person who does own the building, he does have access to resources, and from what I've heard, he's even had the money at one point in time to do something about it and just didn't. So
yeah, and I would say that if I were you, I wouldn't feel too bad holding someone accountable simply based on the fact that you had so much invested in it, and it really isn't up to you which direction it can go at this point. When it comes to the building being condemned, I mean, what are we gonna do? We got to relocate.
Honestly, oh man, the casualties from this are far greater than most people realize. Like, yeah, we lost a business, but it was bigger than that. It was more meaningful than that. Like, Wav Village had a purpose. It wasn't just to make money. Like, we were creating a mecca, you know, for the entertainment industry here in Flint, or the Flint industry per se. You know what I mean? Like, we were trying to create that centralized location where any artist can come. They can work on their music. They can get artist development. They can get advice. They can learn how to produce. They can learn how to mix. They could go across the hall, get a photo shoot. They can come in and learn how to do marketing. Like, we wanted to be that one-stop shop where we could basically groom artists and prepare them for the industry and teach them how to maneuver the business aspect or the business side of this industry. You know what I mean? Prepare them for what's to come, you know? But now, I don't know if we'll ever have that again. Hopefully we do. You know, hopefully we find a new spot. We can relocate, and maybe someone will reach out to us, and, you know, we could figure something out. But as of right now, like, the future is kind of grim. You know?
Well, at the very least, the future is grim in the sense that finding a spot that represents what that represents would be difficult. Because you can recreate that, but just maybe not as efficiently as...
Yeah, like, just to be in the heart of downtown, like I said, man, that the feeling when you walk in there, you know, like,
because you were walking downtown, you walk right into this building, and then you're in the heart of Flint, but you're also somewhere that is focused on, like you're saying, pushing you up as an artist, like putting you on something.
People who care. Like, how hard is it to find that? You know what I mean?
Yeah. People who genuinely care. Because, I mean, your homies gas you up because you're a rapper.
Right. You know, we all have that. And
but you want somebody who's actually got some wisdom, or at least somebody who's invested in you for the right reasons, I suppose. Yeah,
and someone who can objectively look at you and explore not only your strengths but your weaknesses and help you kind of chisel yourself into who you're trying to be. You know what I mean? Like, and I feel like that's part of the process that's necessary. Outside, we were talking about, you know, how you thought it put me in an advantage that I started a little later in my life to come back into music, and I wholeheartedly agree because, you know, I said, like, sometimes you have to go through life's experiences first.
Yeah.
Like, what am I gonna rap about as a fucking 18-year-old kid, you know, wet behind the ears?
Lots of angst.
Haven't been through anything, you know what I mean? But as I come back in my 30s, okay, I've been down on my dick. I've experienced the ups, the downs, the lows, the highs. I'm a father now. Like, you know, I'm a lot more responsible. I ain't out here just being reckless, you know? Like, I've been through a lot more. I can talk about a lot more, you know? So
one of my questions I had for you, I feel like you already kind of even said it, but I wonder if you could elaborate at all. So how has your style changed over time?
Honestly, I just got more comfortable being myself. Like, I stopped basically trying to make music that I think people would want to hear, and just started making music that represented who I am and what message I wanted to send to people. You know what I mean? Because obviously, I mean, I still have fun. Like, it ain't like all super serious. I got to go in there and I can't have fun or fuck around. Like, I still allow myself the luxury of doing that. Like, you need that, I feel like, sometimes. Like, can't go in there and make a serious song every time or a sad song every time. Like, fuck, I would be so depressed. But, you know, I do want to talk about things that are important to me, like, you know, social anxieties, depression, mental illnesses, you know what I mean? Poverty, you know, all these things. You know, these are things that need to be discussed. Like, it's easy to hop on there and talk about money and bitches and guns and shit like that. You know, we've heard that 100,000 times. But, like, how often do we hear artists really, you know, dig down and explore, you know, mental health crisis, or talk about poverty or socioeconomics or things like that? These things are important. Like, you know what I mean? Honestly, I would like to mold myself, if I can, to start talking about, like, you know, fiscal responsibility, start talking about investments and cryptocurrency and all that shit. Shout out to Money Man. But, like, you know what I mean? I don't think I'm there yet. You know what I mean? Like, hopefully I get to that point.
To rap about it with the precision that you rap about everything else.
And to make it make sense. Yeah. Like, I don't want to just go out there and be like, crypto, NFT, buy it. You know what I mean? Like, I want it to make sense. You know what I mean?
You don't want to look like Matt Damon on a Super Bowl commercial.
Yeah, I don't really understand it all yet. So, like, I don't want to, like, you know, try to rap about shit I don't completely understand. But I think that shit's cool. Like, I think it's cool when Money Man raps about like saving money and investing and shit and buying property. You know what I mean? I think that shit's cool.
Somebody who is interesting in that regard, I think he just pushes it a bit too far. Tom McDonald. I think Tom McDonald does the social issue thing in a way that no other rapper is even brave enough to do.
I feel like that's his lane.
Yeah, and
you know
that's
what I mean?
but he's made it his lane.
Yeah.
That's how hard he goes, and nobody can really touch him over there because he pushes it so far.
Yeah.
And no matter what you think about his musicality or his talent, you gotta say the guy has his own lane. And I think that's the type of shit that interests me, is like people like
More
you're saying
importantly,
who
he
approach
is a
topics.
fucking marketing genius.
Yes, he is.
So like, me myself, am I a huge Tom McDonald fan of his music? No, like it's just not something that resonates with me. But that's fine. Like we said outdoors, music's subjective. What doesn't resonate to me resonates to 100 million other people in the world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But what I do admire about him is not only his persistence, but the way that he does attack these subjects and like latch on to people's like emotional like awareness.
He says just
like,
what you like. He says the right things.
Like he saw these Trumpers and he's like, wow, I'm gonna tap right into them. And he just, you know what I mean? He plays to their emotions or like what they feel like their strong beliefs or their core beliefs. You know what I mean?
Well, I be wearing tinfoil hats, so I fuck with it.
Yeah.
See, exactly. No, there's a lot of people who do though.
It's cool. He says some shit that I fuck with, but it's not like whatever. I don't listen to his music all the time.
And see, I think it's...
But he's somebody who's fun to watch.
Yeah,
you know, it's
like,
fun to see what he's going to do next.
It is. I just don't think I'd ever want to politicize my music like that. You know what I mean?
That's the thing. That's the risk of it. That's why it's so interesting to me that he's went so far in that direction.
Yeah, because like off rip, you're already isolating half your fan base. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Just because your political beliefs, like you may
and
be
where you're
out
going to
here-
go next.
Yeah, like you may be ultra reserved conservative, and that's the message you're sending with your music. But now you have all the far left liberal people who just won't fuck with you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, you pretty much box yourself in, and I don't ever want to do that. But it's fine because me, I'm not him, and like that's not my lane. Like especially when it comes to like politics, I'm pretty central and neutral.
Yeah.
Like I'm actually, if anything, like anti-government. You know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
not like full-blown anarchist.
I would argue
anarchist,
most
but-
people agree on most things political. It's just that social media gasses everything up so
Dude,
much.
plus like I like to make conscious decisions. Like I like to stay central. Like I like to see both sides of the argument. Like I'll vote on policy. I'm not gonna be
Yeah.
like a straight ticket voter where it's like, oh fuck, my dad was a fucking Republican and his dad was a Republican, so I'm gonna go vote straight ticket Republican.
Yeah.
Like no, because that's how a lot of people end up getting tricked into voting against their own interests.
Bro, well, if you ask me,
You know what I
the
mean?
whole thing, you just look at that whole thing. You just watch the way everything plays out every time, and you tell me that it don't look a little weird. You know what I'm saying? And then motherfuckers come up to you and go, if you don't vote for X, then you're crazy. It's like, bro, I've been watching for the last 3 years. I feel like I'm crazy just for looking that way.
How do we only have two options every year?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So it's like we're this technologically advanced and we're still fucking really scraping the bottom of the barrel for the two shittiest fucking people we can.
Yeah, because that's the other part.
You know
Not
what I
only do you
mean?
have
Like,
two options, the two options
they're
always end up
terrible.
being absolutely. You're looking at both like, well, I guess this is where we're at.
What did South Park say? They said like just turd sandwich or what they said. Do you remember what I'm talking about? I don't know. They were mimicking it. It was like you can either have fucking shit stain or turd sandwich or so. I don't know what they said, but like they were spot on. Like they give you the two shittiest options. Like,
Yeah. And then they wonder, like, why do young people not vote? It's because they see this happen as they grow up.
because
And
we
they're
don't like you, motherfucker.
they're like, I don't relate to that guy at all.
Right, and that's another thing too. Like, why is the average age of a politician like 75?
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
I don't know, man. Nancy
old man, you're
Pelosi's
about to
popping,
die.
man. I like Nancy Pelosi. She's cool. She's cool. I like when she kind of like goes on, and I don't know what's happening. It's fun. I just like to see where we're going. It's like, it's like when you have a bus driver that's like blind.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
I think with politicians, this is more about entertainment value at this point. It's
Oh
like,
yeah.
which one of these goofy bastards is the funniest?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And when you look at it that way, it's way easier to be in the middle.
Oh, yeah.
Because then you're just laughing at all of it. You're like, this
sure.
is all so silly.
Because like at one point or another, I think I realized, and I'm sure not everyone believes this, but it got to the point where I realized like these motherfuckers are pretty much the same people.
Yeah.
Like wait a minute, it's like two wings and one bird here. Like,
Yeah. Well, you know what I thought was fun? And like, I don't. it was interesting to see how, because Ted Cruz was, all cool when Donald Trump was president.
Dude, how
He didn't
about
say
Ted
anything.
Cruz's fucking like moppy / mullet shag type thing he's got going on with the beard?
I love it. He's trying to look like a real American, bro.
Anyways.
He's a real American. But I just thought it was interesting how he didn't say anything about these kids in camps the whole time Trump's in office. Then you see Trump leave office, and all of a sudden, he's out here. He's going on about these kids in camps because Joe Biden's letting it happen. Like, if that's not a clearer example of people just sitting on a camp, like, they just have their side and they wait for it to be okay to say the thing, and then they say the thing, rather than an actual genuine person going out there. Like, somebody who'd really disappointed me would be Bernie, just because he was saying real shit and then he did the thing that they all do in the end. He just kind of does the same thing now.
I feel like at that point it's like Bernie was one of them guys that I felt like his heart was in the right place. He just got so beaten down.
Yep. Well, the real place, if you want to pinpoint it, was that debate with Joe Biden. Because you saw he couldn't really say anything because of the way everything's structured. To me, it's like, I'm looking at it like, dude, you're old now. Well, you can say anything you want. You don't got time. You got to worry about this. You're not a 30-year-old politician.
Yeah, someone like Bernie, it's not just him against fucking Joe. It's against him versus everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
No one wants no one wants an outsider in, and I feel like that's why, like, whether you love Trump or hate Trump, I feel like that's why Trump caught a lot of heat while he was in office, because he was basically like that big fuck you to the system. You know what I mean? He was like that dude who's not a politician, who, like, this dude is a fucking
he's a comedian. He's a comedian.
Yeah, I mean, but so is George Bush, you know what I mean? Like, you ever watch his highlight reels and shit?
I need to go back.
You gotta watch, if you're watching this, watch the fucking George Bush highlight reels.
Well, he has a lot of, his thing was goofs. Like, he would goof up on things
he would say some of the dumbest shit ever.
Yeah, like, it was different than, because Trump was just wild, whereas Bush was like, wow, this is... Yeah. What did he just say?
Yeah. And they're both equally dumb, I feel like.
I actually think Trump might be a little smarter than Bush if you just watch them talk back to back. But then again, maybe Bush just wasn't that good at talking.
I think Trump has just been trained. He's been trained to talk in a way that makes him feel like he's more educated. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, also, he's so good at poking people. It's incredible. Like,
for sure.
I'm the type of guy where I look at things like this. You can learn something from anybody. So no matter what you think of a person, like, you can look at that guy and just watch the way that he plays off a crowd and he plays off of people's responses. There's a comedian I just watched talk about this. I'm blanking on his name, but he was saying how one of the best Trump clips is when he was in the debate the first time and nobody really knew, he hadn't done it yet. So it was just him and Jeb Bush and a couple other people. And then he just out of nowhere just starts saying, like, I think they asked him a simple ass question and he just starts saying, well, Jeb Bush is a loser. Like, dude, and then the crowd just goes crazy because they're like, oh, you can do that. Yeah. You think he can do that here?
Dude, and like the average American, like they're already like programmed to want to see that kind of shit, controversy.
Exactly. So he's just playing into it's. To me, there's an evil genius to it all.
It was.
It's just so smart because people just want to be entertained, bro.
He beat them at their own game.
Yeah, because what's Jeb Bush gonna say? He's a dork. He's been in politics for 60 years. He has nothing he can say when someone calls him a dork on stage.
And you can't really come up with any kind of rebuttal because you are a politician.
Dude, one time Trump said to Ted Cruz that he had a dog-faced wife on a stage.
Trump loses the debate of the election. He don't give a fuck. He goes back to being a millionaire.
Exactly.
Like, you know what I mean?
And I think that it's like he pushed the bar over and over. And to me, it even goes back to what we were talking about before at the very beginning of this conversation, where it's like when you first approached your music, you were trying to be a little bit more controversial and push people's buttons. Yeah. It's almost like it's super hard to do that in a way that works well. You know what I mean? Because it can backfire on you so easily.
Backfire.
It will.
Listen, if you think being controversial is going to help you out without an established fan base, it will not. Marketability is likability. You have to be likable if you're an artist. That's all there is to it. If someone doesn't like you, who you are, if they can't identify with you or relate to you, or they just choose to consciously not relate with you, like, you're not going to go anywhere with your music. You have to be likable people have to relate to you. I mean, I guess you could be an asshole, but like all your fans are gonna be assholes. Like,
Yeah.
Are them type of fans you want? No, probably not. I don't know.
I mean, there's political music too that it interests me just because of the way you can push it. Like Rage Against the Machine, for example. Really good political music, but it's hard to do that in a way that's going to resonate with people. That like you almost have to make anarchy music, in my opinion.
Dude, I love anarchy music and I
Yeah.
love Rage Against the Machine, honestly. But who was it that came after the lead singer of fucking Rage Against the Machine and said something about like he needs to go back to school and study politics or something?
Ooh, I don't know.
And my man has like a master's degree in political science.
Was it like a politician that said this?
No, it was just some I don't know. It was like I think it might have been a politician. I don't know, but they're basically, you know how they've been political with a lot of their stances, and someone got on there and was basically arguing with whatever he said or believed, and just basically saying he needed to go study politics or whatever. But
Yeah.
my man literally did go to college and study politics.
well,
and has a
that's-
fucking master's degree.
When
You know
somebody
what I mean?
says something like that, they're usually already losing an argument.
Oh,
Like,
for
well,
sure.
you're not smart enough, so.
Yeah, absolutely.
Once we get to that point, usually it's kind of hard to get anywhere else.
So yeah, man, try to be as likable as possible. I
Yes.
feel like that's the best strategy. I had to find that out the hard way, so don't do that.
Yeah, well, and do it in a way that makes sense to people, too.
Yeah.
You know, like, you want to, if you're approaching even, like, controversial topics, like, I think a good example of that is that one real popular Logic song, that Suicide song he did.
Oh, dude, that song was amazing. I remember
Yeah.
when that came out. It was like, what, 5 years ago, 4 years ago?
And it's a real, like, to me, it's not the best song in the world, but it's a really good example of how you can approach a touchy topic and make it a pop song. Like, not
Yeah.
even just a rap song, but, like, something that could be played on the radio.
For
because
sure.
people, if you're going to approach topics like that, it's, for me, the tough part is you don't want to come off as, like, I don't know. You don't want a pity party type of thing where someone turns on a song and then it's like you can't play this with the homies. You can't. You can have a song like that. You can have a
Yeah.
couple like that. But if you want to really resonate with a lot of people, I feel like you have to learn how to approach those topics in a way that's communicable. And that's why I think, you can see somebody like X, who will do a fucking super angry song, but it resonates with everybody because the amount of sheer emotion he's putting into it. When he's talking about, like, beating people and fucking all this shit, it's not something people
Yeah.
relate to, but you're going at it in such a way that it works.
Yeah, the art is the art. At the end of the day, I think it was just the fact that he took the time out of his day to really, like, communicate and touch base with his fans, his supporters.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he created a community in doing so. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, the Juggalos.
I love it, man.
So I'm not fucking big on like Juggalo music or nothing. I have nothing but respect for them because if you look at the Juggalo fan base,
Yeah.
bro, them are the most loyal motherfuckers on the planet.
For real.
Bro, they're gonna show up to every show, buy fucking every Great Malenko hockey jersey that drops.
They
They're
got a
gonna
Hatchet
buy-
Man tattoo on their shoulder
got
and their
a
ass.
fucking Hatchet Man tattoo. Are you kidding me? Like, these are the most devoted fans in the fucking world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like,
And don't even get me started on The Gathering.
bro, are you kidding? I would love to do a gathering. Hey, yo, Jay, you see this? Put clouds on there. You know what I mean? For real. I'm going to come rock with y'all.
I would throw some face paint on and
Dude,
everything. I'd be ready.
I'll bring the Fago. Let's go. You know what I mean? What's up?
Bring a truck full.
Dude, I would love to party with Juggalos. And I heard they have, like, the best fucking drugs in the world.
And the thing that's misunderstood about him is there's really.
I'm kind of scared, though, now. You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
got to take a test kit with you everywhere you go. It's like, yeah, I would love to do acid with you, but I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, shit, a lot of shit going on in the world out here. It's like, let me just test this real quick.
Well, and it's like Juggalos. It's really what's so fun about it is they're all characters. So there's
Yeah.
that would also make you want to bring the test kit. But that's what's fun about it. It's like you get a story out of it no matter what. Like Juggalos are cool people, man.
They are.
They're friendly as hell.
They're super friendly.
The
I feel like they
misunderstood
get a
part.
bad fucking rep,
Yeah,
bro. I know
Well,
a lot
the
of Juggalos.
FBI had them labeled as a gang for a long time. I think they still do.
Probably. You know
Which
what I mean?
is ridiculous. It's
That just
literally
shows,
a
like-
fan group of ICP and I think a few other artists in that I think they don't just include ICP.
Could you
right?
imagine if NSYNC's fan base was labeled a fucking terrorist organization?
That's what I'm saying.
The Biebers and shit.
Like, and you got to imagine the believers. The believers are gathering on October 4th.
Better send the NSA out there.
There was a time when believers were cutting themselves on Facebook.
Man, that's crazy too.
That was real.
For a kid,
That really happened.
it did. It really did happen. I feel like it was kind of that weird stage where like social media had really just taken off.
Yeah, right.
You know
Because
what
that
I
was
mean?
about 2012, 2010.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
And, like Justin Bieber was like born into that life. Like
He was
how,
the first big music
like
video,
how
I think.
fucking weird and awkward would that have been? You know what I mean? To be
Yeah.
like the first internet sensation, social media superstar.
The
you
first
know?
child star, the biggest child star probably ever.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Probably since like Macaulay Culkin and shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
It's kind of
was
amazing he
huge.
didn't end up worse.
Yeah, shout
Right?
out to him, man. You know what? He probably had the right people around him, you know, at
Yeah.
some point or another.
The worst he was
You know what I
doing
mean?
was drag racing and pissing inside of mop buckets at restaurants.
Oh, but if you're a rock star, I'm doing that every fucking. That's a
That's what
Tuesday
I'm
afternoon.
saying. Like the news
You know
was
what I mean?
reporting, news was reporting on it like it was crazy. It's all he did is pee in a corner, and he peed in the mop bucket. He didn't even pee on the floor.
Bro, what?
Yeah.
Fucking box it up, sell it on eBay.
It's valuable. What do you?
Someone out there would buy that shit.
Yeah,
I swear.
you could sell it in little containers. You have a couple different ones you could sell.
Hey, what if I got rich selling Justin Bieber pics?
Putting a little mist, a spray bottle.
Like the Erykah Badu fucking perfume and shit. You know, she did some crazy shit where like she did it like her squirt or her discharge or something. Do you hear about
Oh
that?
my
Yeah,
God.
I was calling
Dude.
it that Erykah Badu.
The Erykah
That
Badu.
was she did that for real?
So yeah, look it up. She like basically took her juices and concentrated them and then put them in like a perfume,
A fragrance.
a fragrance.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
Erykah Badu.
Well, it goes with this new, because I mean, I don't know if this is recent. I feel like it's a thing that's been around for a long time
Not
in
to cut
social
you
media.
off, but that shit sold out too, like 10
Oh,
minutes.
I bet.
Dude,
Because she has a limit. Well, she definitely can't produce. She
it was
can't just make more.
It was a limited run. But it just
I'll
shows
have more
you-
for you in 6 months, guys. It's going to take a while.
Give me a minute. I just need to be stimulated. But
I don't know if she don't have a yeast infection.
no, that just shows you like people will fucking buy anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So-
there was a girl on YouTube. Gosh, Belle Delphine. She sold her bath water, and it sold out within, I think, like within hours, maybe even within an hour, maybe even within minutes. But we're talking like just little things with bath water, and she sent it to so many people. Of course, it became a challenge on YouTube for people to drink the bath water.
Oh yeah, see,
Yeah.
I'm not big on the internet challenges and stuff like that. I'm kind of low key.
But she was the first person, at least I know of, on YouTube to sell something that ridiculous to her audience, and they just
Dude,
bought
there's-
it.
There's people selling farts in a can. Come on, man.
Yeah, I know. I
Yeah,
know.
I mean, all you got to do is think it. If you can think it,
It's
you
there.
can, you can make it happen.
That's true. Like Justin Bieber mop bucket piss.
My bucket piss.
Yeah.
I feel like they really fumbled the bag there. Like they had an opportunity that they could have really ran with and just didn't.
And it's like, how can we can't even recreate this? We can't have him pee in a bucket again.
No one's buying Kevin Cloud piss.
You know what though? You could now you didn't hear it here, folks, but you could manufacture that moment and then sell it. You just have to wait till you're popular enough, right?
That's facts.
Yeah.
Call it rain clouds.
Rain clouds.
Yellow clouds
Yellow clouds.
coming soon.
See, and if you sold it to Juggalos, I bet they would buy.
Hey, if I really like got into that market, I think they would. You know, they'd do just about anything for their like artists.
Well, dude, that's what's so funny. I bet you at the gathering of the Juggalos, you'd be like performing, and you could say, "I got bottles of my piss over there. You guys can go buy it," and they would.
Dude, they got bottles of their own piss. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, I think Tila Taquila performed one year, and they like threw all fucking kinds of bodily fluids on her, like, piss and shit and everything else, and she's just like covered on stage, and she thought like she could take her shirt off and shake her titty. The Juggalos don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? God
Have
damn.
you seen Tila Tequila lately?
Oh man, I've been meaning because
Bro.
I was kind of scared to watch the videos to catch up because I heard that it's a lot. It was even a lot 5 years ago. So I wonder where we're at now. She's at least she's another one of those people where she seems interesting to listen to.
Honestly,
I think she started out making music.
She did.
Satanic shit or something.
Well, it's satanic, but she also she's one of those. I don't want to say tinfoil hat in a negative connotation, but she's one of those hardcore tinfoil hat people. She'll just go off the wall. Like, she'll say something wild, and then there'll be like a million different YouTube videos about her because she's not that famous anymore. So it's not like she's on the news, but she'll at least become like something people can talk about on YouTube. I don't even know specifically what she'll say, but you got to imagine there's like, I think I saw something racially charged that was recent. I don't remember what it was, but it was a little racially charged. But that's the thing. Fun to watch. Like, what's she gonna say next?
I think people just love watching people crash out.
Yeah.
Like, people fucking love that shit. It's just like, a car accident. You ride by, rubbernecking.
Yeah. And people get the wrong idea. Let's have fun. Like, let's just let it ride out. Like, we don't need to get upset.
Yeah.
Let's watch it crash.
There's gonna be people getting upset at anyways. Especially now, we deal with like a lot of cancel culture, and like, you have to really be careful of what you say or think. And it's like, not because you're racist, but like, you may say something that may offend somebody, and you may not be a racist, but in context or the way that the verbiage you use could come off that way.
Well, to me, what tied it all together, what really showed how much people need to know, was when that Joe Rogan video came out on Twitter, and it was just a compilation of him saying the N-word. Because anybody who watches Joe Rogan knows if he's ever said that word, he is not a racist. Like, if he ever says that word, he's talking about somebody who said it, or he's saying it even in a comedic context, like where I think there was a clip of him with a guest where he said, "You're not gonna say it, are you?" And then the guy says it, and it's funny because it's comedic. But people, I think
shock value.
Yeah, and when you take things and you spin it in this way and add that shock value to it, and even Joe Rogan went and addressed it and said sorry. I feel like all of this is just noise that's just bullshit that doesn't. But if that's how you spin it, you can see, based on how people reacted to that, how much information they need to get the conclusion that they want. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like, when that happened, they're like, oh yeah, I knew it, so he's a bad guy. Whereas anybody who's already a fan of him goes, no, you don't understand, and it's just a conversation that goes nowhere.
And like I said, you have to be very careful with the words you use, the verbiage, the context. Because
and you have to think, did I say something 20 years ago that was...
Yeah, because things can be edited or even taken out of context. Yep. You know what I mean? And you may not feel that way, but... all it takes is one viral tweet or one viral post, for the whole world to think you're somebody you're not. You know what I mean? And it's like, these are issues that do need to be talked about. And like, I'm not trying to take away from, like what's going on in the world as far as like social injustices, because those are important issues. You know what I mean? But like with cancel culture and the way things are, it's like, when do we stop allowing people to just be themselves? You know what I mean? Like, when do we... is it because at that point it's like everyone has to be cut and dry, like follow the rules, do what we say, blah blah blah. And I'm not saying like let's allow people to be racist, because no, fuck racist people, you know what I mean? But like, what I am saying is like, I feel like the more we cancel, the more we choose to like get offended about, like the less we're gonna be able to think or say, you know what I mean, at one point in time. You know what I mean? And obviously I'm not advocating for fucking racists or bigots or anybody, but at some point or another, like, there will be risk as far as like the freedom of speech as it applies today. You know what I mean? Yeah. So those are things to think about. And ultimately, I don't give a fuck, because I'm just an artist. Like, most people can say what they want. You know what I mean? But I know there's people that are going to get offended over things, and some of them have the right to. So it's like, where do you draw the line? You know what I mean?
I feel like, for one, the internet has made everything confusing, because now you have this thing where it's like there's no real rules, and so people will get kicked off of YouTube or Instagram or whatever. And what is that, like the authority now?
Dude, plus I'm a white guy. I don't have opinion on shit. Like, dude, don't even listen to me. You know what I mean? But like, I can see it all playing out, and it's like, wow, like, shit's kind of weird. We're living in a very strange time. Yeah. Like, first of all, like, how is this shit even issue still? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
well, if you want to know who's in power, look at what you can't talk about. Look at what you're not supposed to say. That's why it's an issue, right there.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it's like, well, why can't we say this? Oh, yeah, because this person has an interest in this. Like, it's usually something's... if it comes down to what you can't say on the internet, but that boils down to what corporations and all of this will allow you to say, which boils down to what we're talking about right now.
Someone fucks you over in business, you can't really say nothing about it, because it's like, I'm going to sue you for defamation. And it's like, hold up, I'm just trying to, like, tell my story and what happened, and like I can't. I have to choose what I say, especially with like non-disclosure. Like, you know, people will have you fucking sign NDAs, like a non-disclosure agreement. Now, like, you can't talk about things that happen. Like, there may be some fucked up shit happening in there. Why can't we talk about it? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Or well, even like. Well, because there's that where, yeah, there's NDAs, which are wild. You can only imagine the things people can't say.
Right.
But also, like, imagine being famous now and with all this talk of allegations, you don't even want to reach out to anybody that could possibly be a fan of you. Or
Bro, I'm scared to talk
you want to
about
talk to a 30-year-old woman at least.
I'm scared to talk about anything. Like,
exactly.
It's like,
I think the people that you can look at to see where we're at is always comedians when it comes to this, because comedians will always push that bar as far as they can, at least the good ones. So that's how you know.
My favorite comedians would probably not survive today's world. Like, you know, I couldn't imagine.
Who are they?
Richard Pryor, like George Carlin. Like,
I don't know. Maybe I feel like George Carlin would really resonate today.
Ah, man, I don't know, bro.
Even fucking Bill Hicks. Bill Hicks would be great today.
Bill Hicks would be great. I mean, and there's guys that like really fucking walk the line now, like Bill Burr. You know what I mean? I love
That's what I
Bill
mean.
Burr. But it's like at one point or another, like they're gonna try to cancel him, or already have tried to.
But that's what I'm saying is when you look at it, look how far they can go. Because as soon as they start getting shut down, that's when we're really in trouble.
That's what I'm saying. Like, do we ban comedy?
Yeah.
Like,
well, dude, and you know, popular topic
we're gonna ban
incoming.
laughing.
Popular topic incoming. When Will Smith punched dude in the face,
dude,
at the Oscars.
I didn't hear fucking Summertime one time this year. You heard Summertime on the radio?
Mm-mm.
I haven't heard Summertime. They kicked my man off the radio. Dude, every summer I hear Summertime. I ain't heard that shit yet.
But then the crazy thing is, you got an old videos that surfaced that was just the same act. That was like the same exact almost.
Oh, he had said that before.
No, like some people have done that before. Walked up on stage, slapped them, and literally like the same shit, bro.
Oh, as in that may have been staged.
It was staged. I wholeheartedly believe it was staged because there was a couple videos of comedians doing that. Like somebody walk up on stage, pow, and then don't ever keep my wife's name out your mouth. Whatever. It's like.
Well, I saw the one video from a movie, but you saw real life footage of it, like it was happening at real shows that people had done this.
I'm pretty sure it's just a stage thing.
Yeah. Because I could see how that would be something they would do. And the thing is, you got A-list actors who are doing it. That's the part that's fishy about the whole thing, too. It's like, oh, it's believable, but they're both actors. Yeah. And it really is odd. Don't you think that people would, like, security would apprehend the guy who just did that in the real world?
Yeah.
That's what the story was. That's what's so outrageous to everybody. I could see how it would be fake.
I don't know.
I
guess I could see how it'd be fake, but I feel like kind of just happened. I feel like it was just a very impulsive moment too. Like, I don't think Will even had intentions on slapping him until he looked over at his wife and she gave him that eye, like, you better go do something. Then he's like, oh fuck. You know what I mean?
Well, as if it were real. Referring to it as if it were real. If that is the case, to me, that's just the direction we've been going in. If that's real. Because it's like, oh, girl, you can't handle a joke. And, oh, dude, you can't handle your wife not handling a joke because he laughed at first. So if that's real, bro, you just imagine being the guy who looked over, saw his wife upset, and then went, nah, not happening. Now, obviously, that guy's got issues, but, like, you're the guy who sets the example, too, because you're the guy who's Will Smith.
Yeah, for sure.
So when you do that on a big stage, all those simple-minded people at home, all those people who watch your movies, you know, your fans, they look at that and they go, oh, snap, Will did that. Now, obviously, people ain't this simple, but it is just the psychology of it all. Like, oh, so comedians, we can't go that far.
I feel like everyone kind of puts themselves on pedestals, too. At, like, what point did we lose our ability to like, laugh at ourselves?
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, and honestly, I was speaking about that ego death. It's like, as part of the process is like me learning to not take myself and what I do so fucking serious. You know what I mean? I'm like a middle-aged fucking fat white guy with a beard who's balding and like making music for fun just to get by, and that's okay. Like, you can be that, and that's enough. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to apply all these extra pressures or like society's norms or like try to fucking fit yourself to fit some mold or somewhere you don't belong. Like, all you're gonna do is make the time here fucking that you do have miserable. Mm-hmm. And I don't want that, because more important than the music or anything else is like, I just want to be happy. You know what I mean? And I feel like we're kind of like, as a whole, kind of like straying away from just being human, you know, like being normal. Like, it's okay to laugh at yourself, you know, and keep shit moving. You're not perfect. It's fine. No one is. You know what I mean? Shit's not that serious.
Yeah, people lack humility for sure.
Absolutely.
I heard Grimes on the Lex Friedman podcast actually say, she put it really well. She said that humans aren't even really humans anymore. We're like techno-humans. Because we're all attached at the hip to these phones to the point where we're so plugged in, we're basically not humans anymore. And there's an argument for that. And I would even say that would, because if you look at the way people operate, especially on most social media platforms, it's always like, this is what I think, this is what I think, and this is what all my friends think, who are all going to agree with me. And if you disagree with me, we're going to have an argument. It's never, ever, there's no humility in it at all. And
well, let me ask you something too. Like, how, like, on your average day, like you know, when you wake up in the morning, yawn, stretch, how long goes by before you open your phone up?
Now, because I've heard people say this, I heard, I want to shout out his podcast, but there's a scientist who has a podcast that said this. When you wake up, you want to wait like at least 30 minutes before you even talk to anybody or look at your phone, because your brain's still waking up. So I try to wait at least 30 minutes, but I will admit to you that I've been looking at that bitch like 10 minutes after I get up.
Dude, people...
Yeah, I'll wake up and grab the damn thing. I'm like, fuck, what's on... I check my emails a lot, too, these days. It's weird, but...
Motherfuckers sleep with their phones, you know? Like, we've reached that point in humanity where we don't remove ourselves from our phone when we sleep. Like, it has to be near us.
And I'm like the last generation that witnessed it, the transition, because kids growing up now, they're just in it. When I was growing up, it was crap Nokia phones, and then it turned into smartphones.
Dude, my first phone was like a black Nokia phone like that, or like a Motorola, and I remember we had the fucking chirp. Remember, doo-doo, what you doing? Shit, doo-doo. You know what I mean? Like,
bro, I had Snake on that phone, and it was dope. That's all I needed.
For sure. We didn't, and the thing is, like, I feel like life was better then, because we didn't feel the need to get on social media and compare our lives to our friends and the people around us. You know what I mean? And like, all we did is we enjoyed the moments. Like, we were in the moments with our friends. Like, I still remember, like, just fucking riding around the neighborhoods on you know, with my friends on the bike, or playing football, or just, you know, fucking hide and seek and going outside. Like, kids just don't do that shit no more, ever.
No.
Like,
comparison is the thief of joy.
Yeah, and my kid fucking sits in his room all day and plays fucking the game and yells at his TV like a fucking madman. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's the same.
He's going places.
But it's also a different world. Like, you know what I mean? When I was in school, I didn't have to worry about fucking school shootings and all this other crazy shit that's going on. You know what I mean? So it's like, how do you fix it? Who fixes it? Whose responsibility is it to fix it? You know, like,
I think it's like tides that shift. Like, as long as enough people push things in the right direction. But that's why I don't like when people act as if it's not good to, like, oh, what are you gonna do about it? Why are you even bringing these things up? Like, you gotta bring that shit up, because otherwise nobody brings the shit up. Yeah. And bro, the people, if you knew how the people in charge of you thought, you would not want them in charge of you no more.
No, absolutely not. And you're like replaceable to them as fuck.
Yeah.
But
like, you look at the way McDonald's works and then just apply that to America and you pretty much got it.
I think it's important to like have that balance of like not giving a fuck but caring enough to like be proactive in a sense where you at least acknowledge the issues at hand. You know what I mean? Like, you have to find that balance, because if not, you're gonna go fucking crazy if you're too far one or the other. You know what I mean?
Dude, the same comedian I mentioned before, I wish I could remember that comedian's name, but he had a bit about a Fox News dad. Like, he has a Fox News dad where you walk in the room and whoever walks in the room is the person who's like unlucky enough to hear whatever opinion he heard on the TV like 15 minutes ago.
Just regurgitated talking points from Fox News. Oh, great.
And that's how my dad is. My dad's a Fox News dad 100%. Like, he'll always, it's like he has a cycle of 3 topics that he talks about. It's Joe Biden's terrible, Trump needs to come back and save everybody, and like, and then he'll just mention how, you know, like, whatever it was on Fox News.
Hey, no disrespect to your dad, but like, these people believe like one guy is responsible for worldwide gas prices.
Yes, that's what
like,
he says that exactly.
Crazy to me.
He says it exactly. exactly.
It's like Biden is responsible for the price increases in fucking France and India and everywhere else too. Like,
Yeah. Well, and he believes that Trump saved our gas prices and he's got to come back because Joe Biden's responsible for that. Like, it's all connected. So because of that, I mean, that's always been silly, but that's always been a thought that people have had based on what the news says, because the news will give them that opinion. They'll go up and say whoever's president is in charge of the gas prices, when really whoever's president isn't really in charge of much at all.
no.
So
Like, that's the thing is, like, they work for people too. Like, they're working for the interests of their donors. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing that people don't really understand either. It's like, it's a pay-to-play game. Like, sure, there's policies on the ballot, and they're going to use those policies and these issues when it comes time to garner votes. They're going to act like they care. But at the end of the day, like, their interests rely with the fucking pharmaceutical representatives and the fucking big bankers.
Yeah.
The insurance companies. Like, they don't give a fuck about us. They're concerned about big tech, shit like that. War. Think about it like that. Like, we spend enough money on fucking war just, to end world hunger a couple times over, and we just actively choose not to do it because we're protecting our fucking freedoms and our liberties.
Well, the one excuse I could think that would hold up would be, because I never really realized this, but if all war was to end, that is a major part of the world economy. So you could argue that the economy would crash if war just ended tomorrow.
Sure.
Yeah.
It would for sure. And
but that's how you could keep war going forever, too, just by saying that over and over a million times.
I feel like that's probably what would be needed to spark a revolution. You know what I mean? Because the people really do believe in these fucking puppet boogeymans. You know what I mean? It's these. I'm sure there are extremist fucking military groups and militant groups and shit out there, but where do you think they're getting their fucking American-made fucking rifles and then they're in their fucking Humvees and Jeeps and shit? And all
Have you heard the Bill Hicks bit where it's from Dirty Harry, and it's the guy who throws the gun to the guy from the Taliban, and he says, pick it up.
Yeah.
And the guy picks it up and he goes,
yeah.
You see, he had a gun.
Yeah, for sure. And not only that, like, these people are like, they're fueling and supplying both sides. So
because it's as long as you sell the story the right way, we can do that forever, because there's always a bad guy.
Oh,
and we got to
sure.
hate somebody. Somebody's got to do something bad, so that way, tinfoil hat on, you can always look at things that go down in American history and go, that was weird. It just happens over and over. It happens over and over and over again. And I feel like people operate on this idea that the American government used to be bad and now they're cool. It's like, where do you get that idea?
I feel like a lot of people at one point in time got hip, woke up, and became aware of a lot of shit that was going on. The conspiracies. And then I feel like the government and the CIA and them, they created other conspiracy theories that they could sprinkle in there to kind of make people seem crazy.
Oh, yeah, that's the name of the game.
Flat Earth, for example. Like, I don't know what your beliefs are on that, but, I'm the type of guy, I'm old-fashioned. The world is spherical. The moon is spherical. All the planets in our solar system are also spherical.
I like how that's old-fashioned.
Yeah. Like, I'm one of them old-fashioned guys.
To be truly old-fashioned would to think the Earth is the center of the universe.
Facts. Like, shout out to the Old Testament.
Oh, yeah.
But, no, I feel like they do sprinkle in these fucking conspiracy theories to kind of discredit the people who are really on to something. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And
I think that even happens with when you see. You can even look at that's why I mentioned the thing about the FBI because there are documentations or documented events. I wish I could name them for sure, but where even recent ones actually. I know there was one recently. Oh, real good one when Gretchen Whitmer was going to get kidnapped, and then it turned out 10 of those 16 dudes were actually FBI or previous FBI people. So you have people messaging people who are clearly unhinged, going, yeah, let's do this, egging them on, and then you get 6 people who were going to do it, but they weren't going to do it until you messaged them a million times and tried to get them to do it. Same thing as something happened with some Middle Eastern guy. It was a couple years ago where they were trying to get him to meet them at a certain place for something, and they were trying to make him a terrorist. But it's really weird because they go through social media and they know how to pick out people who are a little bit off or they may be willing to do something like that. And it makes you wonder, like, what is even the purpose of that? What is that operation trying to achieve? Because it's an operation that was committed, and you know it was because they said it was.
Yeah.
So it's really weird. And that's like, that goes on all the time. And so with what you're saying, of course they're planting seeds. Of course they're planting seeds.
It's way worse than we could ever imagine, too, I believe. Like, I'm sure whatever we can think of, like, shit's 100 times worse than what they're doing. So it's like, I don't know. I try not to worry about things I can't control. But when it comes to, like, conspiracy theories, yes, I entertain the thought, of course. I'm a critical thinker. I like to see, opposing views on things, and I like to gather information and then, make a decision for myself. I feel like, it's part of the scientific process. I'm a huge advocate for science. I fucking love science.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I just love learning things. Like, I'm a nerd at heart. Like, when I'm spending time at home, like, I'm not really watching TV. I might play the game, but if I'm not playing the game, I'm, like, watching tutorials on shit. Or looking up weird, random, like, fucking facts and shit.
I like watching those, like, YouTube videos where I feel like I'm learning.
Like 2 hours later, I'm watching a little Indian kid make a fucking 2-story bedroom out of clay with Wi-Fi and an indoor swimming pool and shit.
He's like sitting in the tub smoking a blunt, like, dude, wow, I didn't know you could do
made
that.
It with the fucking stick and shit. Yeah. And I'm just sitting my fat ass eating Doritos. Like, oh, that's cool. Yeah. I should do that. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, man. I feel like there's so much out there too. There's always more out there. What were we just talking about, right? Why'd you say the clay thing? I'm losing my thread of thought I had.
I was just talking about how I go on YouTube, black holes and like.
Oh, well, that's what I was gonna say. Is I feel like it's about like using your imagination. A lot of that stuff, like it really is. Like, or it's a good litmus test to see if somebody's open-minded. Like if I bring up to you flat Earth and I'm just joking around, and then we can actually talk about how like what that could be, then that person's an open-minded person for sure. Dude. Whereas if somebody else is like, no, that's bullshit. Anybody who says that's crazy, they're probably not gonna be as open-minded as the other guy.
Yeah, I don't like to engage with people talking into that shit. I entertain the idea of many things.
Yeah, and it's fun.
Flat Earth, I think it's cool as fuck, dude.
Bro, if I went to Antarctica and I just walked forever, that would be the craziest shit.
But then you get into these conversations with some people where they're just like completely blocked out, their doors shut, but they just want to ask you, yeah, but what about this? But what about this? Yeah, but what about this? And like, dude, just
and they don't care. They don't care to learn anything. They just want to argue.
Yeah, try to understand it with an open mind instead of being closed off. That's why I don't really talk to people about it no more. I just entertain it.
And see, the thing about me is like, if you present evidence enough that's strong enough to make me change my mind, like I am totally willing
to stroking your chin like, oh damn.
Yeah, I'm totally willing to be like, wow, I'm a dumbass. Like, let me change my perspective here, because like it's okay to be wrong about things. Like again, like I said, with having that ego death or like that moment of reflection, like I had to realize, like, man, I'm not perfect. I did some stupid ass shit. Some of the shit I think is wrong. Some of the shit I say is wrong. Let me actively work on fucking changing these things and being more open-minded. You know what I mean? Being more assertive. Man. It is. It's like, and it brings you peace. Like, I can't even remember, like, with the studio going on and all the stress in my life, I'm just like, I'm okay. I'm fine. Like, you know what I mean? It's cool. Like, I can deal with it. I'm not feeling all this immense pressure to be somebody who I'm not. I'm just living my life, my purpose, like...
Yeah.
Just actively just being me, and that's more than enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I got lucky enough to have a couple experiences early on that taught me that same lesson, about putting your ego aside and just not... I think that, especially if you're a musician, I think that's really, really valuable, in my opinion, because you don't want to be thinking about, oh, I want this song to appeal to this person, or, oh, like, you can kind of put that in there if you're marketing, if you're thinking this is my base, my fan base, but you don't want to be thinking that 100%. Like, you want to be yourself, and I think a lot of people, you can tell in the way they perform, in the way they talk, in the way they do everything, they're just not that confident in what they're doing because they're too connected to, oh, what are they going to think? What's this going to be to so-and-so?
Yeah,
you can just see it right on them. You can see it.
It's like they care too much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's okay to care, but to care too much is going to handicap you at the end of the day. And honestly, like, when you can just be yourself and, unapologetically just be you, you're gonna attract all the right people. You know what I mean? Like, as opposed to trying to make a fucking 9-foot circle fit in a 4-foot box.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because essentially that's what you're doing when you're taking music that doesn't, naturally fit in with a certain type of sound or a demographic, and you're trying to force feed it. Now you're getting discouraged. Like, no, don't do that. Just, find the people who it does fit with, welcome them in along the way, and just ride it out with them. And if the people choose not to be a part of your following or your fan base or your tribe or whatever, that's okay too.
Their loss.
Yeah, there's a lot of people in the world. There's gonna be so many that are just gonna want to fuck with you just because you're you, and no one else in the world can be you. You know what I mean?
You're gonna see that everywhere you go, man. I mean, in life, whoever it is, you're gonna see there's a circle of people who are gonna make you feel like shit, and you're like, damn, these guys are. I don't like hanging out with these guys. And then you go hang out with another circle of people, and you're like, yo,
dude. Me and Charlie was actually just talking about that on the way here. How he was talking about how like he'll reach out to a lot of people and they'll kind of give him the cold shoulder and shit. And I was basically telling him like, you normally fit the ideal image of people or what they want or expect people to be. And to me, that's okay because like I'm gonna fuck with you no matter what. But that's how small-minded some people are. Like if you don't like look a certain way or dress a certain way or act a certain way or talk a certain way, like they're not gonna fuck with you. And it's like, well, then I don't want to fuck with you anyways because you're asking me to be somebody I'm not. You know what I mean?
I was in a band once, and the reason it all fell apart was because one of the members of the band ended up being that guy where it became like, hey man, and the other band members, they were all friends before we had ever met. So I became the singer. So they kind of had a dynamic going, but he was the source and you could tell. And it was like, hey man, I see that you wear band clothes when, like you wear the clothes we would wear when you're on stage with us, but when you hang out by yourself, you're just wearing your normal clothes. Could you wear the band clothes when you're not hanging out with us too? He asked me that, and I was like, no, I'm not gonna change what I wear.
Want me to be comfortable? Fuck, dude.
Bro, I just wear my clothes. What
Imagine having to be an artist 24/7 every day.
But that showed his mentality to me right away when that all started happening, and it just plays itself out. Because those people will put themselves in a box on purpose. They really will, and you just watch it happen to them.
So how are they doing?
Man, I hate to talk slander, but I think it's generally agreed upon that things were better when RUSE was around.
All right. Okay.
It's just, and
it's fair to say.
I've heard this from multiple personas. I don't want to hurt anybody, but that's because I would love to have him on the podcast. I'd love to bring him in and talk to him, man. I don't care.
That's another thing too. Like I feel like the art of conversation, having open dialogue, even with people that you wouldn't always naturally agree with, is essential to growth. You know what I mean? And that's another thing I need to realize too, is like it's okay for me to disagree. Like I got friends that I disagree with in certain things in their life, and I don't let that affect our relationship, but I'm always willing to engage in dialogue and open up conversations and live and listen to them like with the intent of comprehending and understanding, not just like trying to disagree or judge or discredit. You know what I mean?
Or like because one thing I've noticed about myself that I really have to stop doing is I don't. You'll catch yourself being a contrarian. You'll be like, oh yeah, but like no. You don't even got to do all that.
Yeah, you don't. You can leave that all out and just let it ride.
Like we can all be right.
And I still make fun of my friends and shit too. So it's like I said, it's all about balance.
Yes.
But you just have to have that mutual respect and like. Don't just fucking automatically be an asshole to somebody because they think something different than you. Because you know what? You could be wrong.
Yeah.
Sometimes you will be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And then it's like you have to either change your perspective or your stance on that, or you have to live the rest of your life being stubborn asshole who just fucking thinks the wrong way about something. You know what I mean? Like double down on being ignorant.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
you got to be that guy.
And some people will willingly, consciously choose to double down on being ignorant.
I feel like life's gonna play against you at some point. It's gonna ride itself out. There's no way.
You're gonna be like me, where you're like beating your head against the wall, wondering why like shit's just not going. And it's like, oh, maybe the problem is me.
Yup.
You know what I mean? And it's like at that point, only you can save you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like you have to figure it out. It's just like one of my favorite quotes in life is like, "Be humble, or life will humble you." You know what I mean? There was a distance, a span where I wasn't exactly humble, and like life fucking came in and humbled me very quick. You know what I mean? Like it'll make you figure it out. You have to. If you want it bad enough, you will. I should say. I want it. I want it bad. Like, I'm willing to change my thoughts and perspectives. I'm willing to do what I got to do to make it to the next level. You know what I mean? Half of that battle is just being a better person, you know?
You know what's interesting is I was talking to Cam Lapine, and I was basically saying that, like, I look at it where with my music, I don't put any ego into it at all. Like, I try to think of it as an egoless thing so that that's what the art is and people can place whatever they want on it. And he thought that was interesting because he thinks music is ego-driven. Like, that's how he looked at it, is if you were making music, it's all about ego, especially if you're a rapper. And so I thought that was really just that dichotomy of that.
I think Mac Miller was a good testament to what you just said, like being egoless.
I agree.
And I feel like there's a lane for that and a need for that. I feel like there's a need for both, you know? It's kind of like what we said before. There's something for everybody. That's what's beautiful about music, you know? Like, it will make you feel things. It'll make you resonate with certain messages, and you can apply those messages to your life, and that'll be the soundtrack to your life or whatever. But there's no wrong or right way, you know what I mean? I feel like there's a need for both. And honestly, when I listen to your music, I think your music's fucking fun. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's fun music.
Appreciate
and
that.
honestly, like, you pick up frequencies and vibrations from music. So, like, if you're listening to ego-driven music, it's probably going to be low vibrational, low frequency. You know, like, ego-driven anything is pretty much selfish, and selfish is a negative thing. You know what I mean? No matter how it applies. You know what I mean? And honestly, there's points and times in your life where you do need to be selfish. So, like, that soundtrack may apply to that time frame of your life, but throughout the journey, I feel like we learn to kind of let that shit go. But it's needed at some point in time. Like, you're going to need to crash out. Like I said, like, it's important. Like, you need to be told no a lot of times. You know what I mean? You need to fail. Like, it's going to make you better. It's going to make you understand things.
In order to understand what it is to fail, even.
Yeah, for sure. Like, that's the thing, too, is, like, a lot of us just want success overnight. We don't really want to put in the work. We don't want to stumble. We don't want to face the ridicule or the judgment. And, like, we're not prepared to, like, really just lock in and grind and go the full fucking length, you know, the whole extent of the journey. And the thing people don't understand is some of these people go 10, 20 years before they get on. You know what I mean?
For real.
Like, you may be, you know what I mean? You maybe have done, I don't know how long have you done music for?
About 10 years now.
So shit, you might not get on until the 12th year.
Yeah.
Or the 13th
I've just
year.
accepted this along the way.
Exactly. I think fucking, that interview I was talking about with Jelly Roll, I think he was talking about, like, he's just now in the last few years really reaching, like, a high level of success. He's always been kind of underground.
Yeah.
Like, he had success, but never, like, on this measure.
Well, that's the thing
You know what
about
I mean?
legacy, man, is you always think about people as what they are when you became familiar with them. You know, like, there's so much leading up. Everybody has this history.
And I think a lot of it's like the battles in our mind too. We put all this extra pressure on ourselves to, like, do something by a fucking certain time or a certain age or whatever, but success doesn't have an expiration date.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing too, is like, dude, it may take me an extra 10 years to get there, but I'm gonna get there. Why? Because it's in me. You know what I mean? I'm working at my own pace. But if I'm sitting here and I'm looking at you and, like, you're getting a lot of traction and you've only been doing this shit for 6 years or 10 years, and now I'm approaching my 8th year and I'm getting frantic and I'm like, oh fuck, RUSE got on fucking the 10th year. I'm approaching my 8th year, like, I'm nowhere near you know what I mean? Like, it's not gonna work out for me. It's not gonna work how I think. Like, I can't use that as a measurement of success or something to compare, because everyone's journey is different, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, and it really is, yeah, it's just so relative. I mean, it doesn't matter. It could be this song, the first song you ever made, or it could be the 102nd song you ever made that just, you didn't even like that song.
Dude, how about fucking Kate Bush or Metallica with
yeah, wild. Well, the Kate Bush in particular, because, you know, people knew that Metallica song, but Kate Bush, wow.
Dude, yeah, think about that. Think about blowing up from a song you recorded and released 40 fucking years ago.
And it's a banger, too. It's a great song.
Dude, I sampled it for the fucking Stranger Things songs.
Oh, you did?
Dude, I got a song that's coming that's fucking amazing, and we actually sampled that song for it. We're doing a Stranger Things themed video and everything. It's gonna be amazing. I hope it goes viral.
Yeah, like I was saying to you, I could make this work for Will. I could
Dude,
probably
you're
pull
in
off
it.
a bowl cut.
You're Will.
We could even throw a wig on if this ain't good enough.
Dude, you're in it. I'm gonna wear a wig too. I'm gonna dress like 80s and everything. We're gonna
Dude, I'll be Eddie if you want. I'll do facial expressions.
Dude, you're in it. Trust me. We need all hands on deck for sure. But
I've been waiting for my music video break.
Not to get too far off.
I know Weet's got his. He's got like 20 million of those things.
Oh yeah,
cameos galore.
Yeah.
Not to get too far off topic, but yeah, just imagine like a song blowing up 40 years after you release it, and then just touching a whole entire new audience. Like these people weren't even conceived.
It's the butterfly effect, man. It's the things you do, you never know what will come of them. No. And then things just happen. That's why you should do things.
And that's why you should always do things. And don't be afraid to do things and fail.
Yeah.
That's more important. Like, you know what I mean? To her, maybe that song in 1980 or whatever, maybe they were thinking like, oh man, this song didn't do as well as we thought it would. Like, what the fuck happened? Like, this song was amazing. The legs on this song are huge. Like, why are we not getting the success that we want? But then again, 40 years later, that comes. It's like, you know, it's God or the universe or whoever saying it's coming. Just wait, be patient, do you, live life, enjoy it, enjoy the process. You know, like that's another thing too. Is like we make it feel like work and we don't enjoy the fucking process. Like enjoy the shit. If you make a bad song and you scrap it, oh well, fucking. You know what I mean? Who cares?
You and everybody else.
You know, like whatever. You know, enjoy the shit, the good, the bads. Take it all for what it is. Just accept it. You know.
Yeah.
You're gonna have more fun that way.
And that's what's. Like I was saying off the air, that's why I posted that on Facebook, where nothing kills passion more than business, because people get real caught up in all that, or they get caught up in the idea like, oh, I've made all these songs already, no one's listening to them, so I've even seen people post multiple times now, oh, I'm just not a rapper anymore. Like, bro, if you're gonna give up being a rapper because your songs weren't popular enough, you probably weren't much of a rapper to begin with.
Or you're in it for the wrong reasons.
Exactly. Like, you gotta change that whole thing.
For a minute, I was doing things for the wrong reason. And, like, you have to, like I said, maybe they'll have that moment of clarity, too. Like, you know, you need that. You got to humble yourselves. You got to check yourself. Some people also don't have people around them that'll check them either. Like, not saying I didn't. I have really good friends who would pull me aside and be like, yo, your ego is getting out of control. Calm down a little bit. They personally call me. Like, why did you post that stupid shit? Delete it. But you know what I mean? Like, and I'm thankful for that, too. Because even at the time when I really wasn't accepting of the advice, like, now looking back in hindsight, it's like, wow, I'm glad I had someone that cared enough to, like, not want me to fucking crash out. You know
I never had that, man. That's why I'm glad that old Facebook's gone.
Right. But and honestly, it's just like you feel better when you're positive and optimistic, and you know what I mean. Like, I don't want to be the type of person who's negative and always comparing, contrasting, because like you said, comparison is a thief of joy. It truly is.
Yeah, and you'll catch yourself being that contrarian. Like I was saying, you'll just catch yourself trying to come back when we can just be holding hands here.
Yeah, and not to get too far off topic too, with like the artists who feel like, you know, they can just, you know, work themselves to the bone and just put all this music out. Like we were talking about earlier, it doesn't stop there. Like the process doesn't stop when you make a song and submit it to DistroKid. You have to actively promote it. Like I said, I'm fucking still promoting songs from 2 years ago. Searching for Forever was 2020, and I'm still pushing it like it released last week. Because like I said, I know there's 7 point something billion people on the planet. A fraction of 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 a percent has heard it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like I have a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
It doesn't stop there. You release a song, you still have to actively promote it, market it. You don't just drop it and then 2 weeks later just give up on it. You know what I mean?
Some of the best advice I ever got was I think he's Legendary Tattoo. I might be wrong. But it was through he was just giving a speech through some program I went through. And he was saying that if your dream is to play Madison Square Garden, you should live as if you played Madison Square Garden yesterday. Yeah. And I thought that was just such genius advice. And I say this all the time just because, to me, it's like the way to live.
It's very profound, for sure.
Because it's not because people will do this. They'll say, I have this goal. And then once they reach that goal, they're not happy like they thought they would be. And then life just keeps on going. Yeah. But if you look at things like, oh, this is just a goal and I've already done it, and then when you achieve that goal, it's the same thing it always was, you know? And people just idealize these things when it's really, if you drop that song, What if nobody listens to it? No big deal. We'll promote it a little better. We'll drop another song. Whereas it's not the end of the world. It's not like I was building up this single that I was going to drop and then it didn't get the attention I wanted, so I'm all done with hip hop, you know?
People are really just easy to give up, too. It's like we have to be realistic with ourselves, too. Like, what we're doing to make it to the big leagues is virtually impossible. You know what I mean? Like, the odds are stacked up astronomically high against us. You know what I mean? Like, you want to be a fucking famous rapper, so does everybody else. You know what I mean? Like, of course. So, like, the game is super saturated. Like, you have to stand apart from all these people, but really it doesn't, if you notice too, it doesn't translate into being more talented. Like, I'm not going to sit here on the podcast and be like, oh, I'm achieving these small amounts of success because I'm more talented. No, that's not it. It's the fact that I'm working hard. I'm applying myself in certain industries, and I'm finding the cracks and crevices that most people are skipping. You know what I mean? Like, I'm applying myself to market myself more, and a lot of people skip that process. Or, you know what I mean? I'm putting in the work to make sure that my SEO is right and that I'm popping up in the search engines and
That's
shit.
important.
You know what I mean? It's super important. And these are the things that the average artist fucking overlooks, and rightfully so, because their job at the end of the day is to make music. And like, it's kind of like we were talking about, if you don't have a team or if you don't have the knowledge and you're just wearing all these hats and doing all this shit, starts to feel like the W word. And we know how that feels when you just fucking starts to feel like work. Like, you kind of dread going into the studio, kind of dread turning on the mic. You're just unmotivated, uninspired, you know. Like,
it's a balance is what I think. I think that, like I said off the air, you either get a manager. If you're the guy who can't do it at all, you get a manager. Like, if you're completely not that, and you know you're not that, or if you know, the other thing people will realize is they don't have the energy to allocate their resources to that. Like, they don't even have the time for it. You're the guy who needs a manager if you're either of those things. But if you kind of know how to work it, you can find a middle ground that you can enjoy. Because it's nice to make it work. Like, when you post something and it gets the response you wanted, or when you do an ad and you get a good deal out of it, you feel like you got your money's worth, you feel like you achieved something. And so there is a really rewarding aspect to marketing yourself if you are inclined to do it.
There is, and actually the thing about it too is it's a lot more affordable than people believe it is. I think a lot of the reason why some people get turned off is because, like, most people who make music, they do have real bills and shit going on. Like, we get it. We all do. Like, life, there's a life outside of music. You know, bills still need to be paid. You got to take care of your kids, handle your business, whatever. But you can spend as little as like $5 a day, you know, on ads and get good results, you know, better than just sitting there and doing nothing.
If you spent $2 a day, it's better than nothing.
Dude, I know people that spend more than that on fucking blunt wraps and bullshit, fast food, whatever, you know what I mean? So it's like, you really at this point in time just have to budget. And I feel like a lot of people aren't very good with planning or budgeting or organizing, and I feel like that's where the conflict lies. Like, it's not that they're not it's not that they're not a resourceful person, they're just not being resourceful.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Like, they're not applying that part of them to their business.
They don't, and at that point it's like, I hate to call you a hobbyist, but you don't want it. You don't want it bad enough. You know what I mean? That's the only thing that I can think of. Like, that's the only thing it tells me. That's my perspective, is like, if you're not doing these things and you know that you should be, you just don't want it bad enough.
And actions speak louder than words.
For sure.
I mean, because you'll have those same people tell you, oh, yeah, bro, like, I got this. I had a great conversation with the rapper Kid about this, where he had a similar occurrence as me, where we both knew somebody who was real great. They were fantastic at rapping. My guy, he was real good at freestyling. Like he was the one who got me to start freestyling, because I just would hang out with him in the car. And, like, he wasn't perfect, but I could see so much potential in him. And I was like, dude, you got to just post this stuff. Like, just put it on social media so people will see how good you are. But he would only do it on Instagram with simple little videos. He had a computer. He watched me mix.
He could have edited that shit, made some really cool reels or whatever, you know?
Just record into a microphone and just lightly EQ it, bro. I'm telling you, it'll sound better. You could rap over a beat for once, rather than rapping in front of the TV on your phone, but he could hear that a million times, and he's not going to do it because he's just not that guy. And so he either needs a manager or he's just not. He's
Some
a
people just don't
hobbyist.
care. Yeah, like,
exactly.
They're just doing it for fun. That's okay too. Like
It just hurt my heart.
It does because like if you're an audiophile and like you have a deep admiration for music and like me, I'm in love with music. Like music's what got me out of a lot of hard times in my life. Like that's why I got into music, because I just love music. I love art altogether. But music, man, you have to really want it. You like not want it, but you have to want to be a celebrity to take that approach with your music. Because like it's okay to be a hobbyist or sing karaoke, and there's plenty of ways to like be involved with music that doesn't require being a fucking artist. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to be an artist. That's okay. You could just make songs for fun or ghostwrite or do whatever. You know what I mean?
Jim Carrey once said in a documentary that he used to go to sleep wondering, who do I want? What does an audience want to see? And then one day he just realized it. They want to see the guy who doesn't care about anything.
Yeah.
And that's it. You just can't give a fuck. You just got to be the guy that doesn't give a fuck, and you go into it with no holds barred.
Yeah, and then you got to, at the end of the day, you got to give just enough fuck to make it to make money. You know what I mean? Like,
enough of a fuck to be financially successful. Yeah. Because otherwise we're digging a hole.
For sure. But art, dude, it's just the art. It's more. I feel like we kind of we get to that point where we get frustrated or feel a lot of pressure, and we lose the art. The process of creating the art. Like we get out of touch with it. You know what I mean? It's like I'm trying to emulate the sound I heard on the radio now. You know what I mean? Which is a form of art. Like it's like what is it? It's flattering to like mimic things, or what they say. Or flattery. What do they say? Imitation is. I know. What I sound like George Bush. fucking murdering a quote up here. Regardless, it don't even matter. Fuck the quote.
Imitation is flattery's best friend.
Yeah, something like that. But I'm saying, I think like as artists, like we get so focused on just trying to blow up that like we forget like that's really all about that high that we're chasing, like you know what I mean, the creative process, whatever, the art, that's what I'm saying, like the culture. Like I just love it. Like you're rocking the tab hat, like I said, I got fucking so many Luke Benson pieces. I probably have the biggest collection of Luke Benson paintings like in the world. Rest
in peace.
Yes, rest in peace. But it's just art. Like when you love something, you want to be great. You want to do great things with it. You want to take care of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, like I was saying before, to me, what really ignites that for me is when I hear a beat and the words are just falling into place in my brain. Like, oh, this is what sound. Because I find that a lot of artists write this way, where it's more phonetic. It's more like you hear the sounds and then you apply the words to the sounds almost. And that's where a lot of that magic is. To me, there's something so magical about that, because it's like it's coming to me, dog. It's like there's something sonically there that I know is there, and I have to place it. And weird. I love that so much.
It's weird how it all just kind of comes together, because like when I'm recording with him, I'll have him just push the button and I'll just be like just like mumbling shit and humming shit and like just, you know what I mean, like just coming up with the cadences and melodies, and then it's like boom, it'll hit me and I'll be like, all right, I got it, run it, and then I'll punch my first part and then go back thinking. Sometimes it might take me 15 seconds, sometimes it might take me 2 minutes, but I'll think of something and it'll fit. Or if it doesn't fit just right, he'll be like, try saying this or say this instead, and it'll fit, and we'll be like, we'll have that moment. Aha.
That's nice.
You know what I mean? And I feel like that helps the creative process too, is like allowing the criticism of someone else. Like working with someone like with Weet, I feel like fucking Shaq and Kobe. Like, you know what I mean? He throws me assists all the time. Like, because what's better than having one brain? Having two brains.
Two good brains.
Fuck, dude. Super big brain power. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So if I get stuck on something, it's okay to sit there and pick his brain. And I know I'll probably catch a lot of heat from people like, oh, well, then you're not a true songwriter if you don't write every single lyric. Even though, like, he helped me write a couple lines or fix a couple lines. I don't give a fuck.
Bro, one time
the benefit of the song.
One time I wrote a song on TikTok Live, and I let them give me some inspiration. I was like, yo, that's a dope line. I'm writing that down.
Exactly.
Like in the comments. I was just reading their their
But
comments.
some artists will be so ego driven that they won't.
I had a friend who was like that, where he was writing. I don't want to name him, but he was writing a song that he was doing with me, and I liked doing that. I like working together. So he would like tell me where he's at, and I'd be like, "Oh, I got it," and I would give him a line.
Say this.
And he got upset because he couldn't
Dude, fuck
use
you.
that line anymore, because now he'd be copying me.
Oh my
so I
God.
took away the line from him. Like, that's how he looked at it.
Oh my
now that I
God.
came up with it,
But
he
really,
can't use it.
It comes from a good place because like it's like you're trying to make the song the best it can be.
Yeah, and I'm like, now I don't want to say anything because I don't want to make the song worse. I don't
And
want
you know
to
what I
say
mean? And
anything
you don't
else
want to
good.
piss him off. Like, my bad for fucking making this shit sound good.
Not only that, it was
Like,
fire. So
look-
if he's not going to use that, I hope he doesn't make something worse instead. Like, let's just leave him alone now. Let's not
Right,
poke
yeah.
the bear.
But I don't understand.
But I hadn't seen that before, and that made me realize, oh, okay. So some people just don't want you to feed them any lines
Some
at all.
people cannot handle criticism at
No.
all, even if it's the healthiest, coming straight from the heart
Oh, yeah.
criticism. Like, you're trying to help this person and they lash out, "Fuck you! I don't do it my way." Like,
Do you have any examples of that? You don't have to say any names.
yeah, yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
Carlito he was hard-headed. He didn't want to take any advice. Like when I first started recording him, and like I'd be like, "Oh, try this," and be like, "No, man, I got it." About 4 songs later, a week or 2 later, he'd be coming over to my house to record frequently, and then like eventually he's like, "All right, you know what? I'll try that." And then he did it, and he liked it. He's like, "Oh man, that made it so much better. Just one little tweak, whether it's taking out one word or adding a word or switching it differently, And once he did that, now he's like, "Dude, I'm a fan of it. Like, shit, give me your input. If you got any input, say it."
Yeah, it's not like your engineer is gonna try to fucking sabotage you.
No.
You know what I mean? It's his song too.
No.
And I feel like that's another thing that artists forget too. Like, they're so ego driven and self absorbed that like it's also the engineer's song. It's also the producer's song. It's also anybody else's song who contributed to any kind of fucking vocal arrangement or instrumental arrangement. Like, yeah, you were the performing artist. This song is a collaboration. Every song is a collaboration. Unless you fucking make the beat from scratch, engineer it yourself, master it yourself, release it yourself, distribute, like, unless you do everything like that by yourself, it is a collaboration.
And let me just say, the people who do that are aliens. They're not even human beings.
I swear.
I don't know how they exist, especially when it sounds good.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you? Who are you? Because like I mix my own stuff for the most part, but making your own beats on top of that, my God, you are not human. You're an animal.
You're a unicorn for sure. Yeah. That's unreal.
I feel like they're lying to me when they tell me that. I'm like, no.
Yeah, it's like when I got better at mixing and I got worse at rapping. You know what I'm saying? So I just kind of quit rapping. I don't know. It's more of a consistency thing,
Yeah.
I wasn't consistent with the rapping. I just kind of got more into making beats and then engineering, and now here I am. I'm just like, I'd rather just engineer it.
Yeah.
But I also want to write. So it's like, whatever.
I feel like it's all muscle memory too. It's repetition. It's practice. Like, you can tell when someone's not been honing in on their craft and they've just kind of been nonchalantly just throwing things together. You know what
Yeah,
I
and the
mean?
more you do, the more you're spreading your energy into these different areas. That's even the problem with marketing. Like, but if you want to make all of that, that's difficult. That is difficult. We were talking about that for a reason as well. That making all your own stuff. But yeah, because people are hard-headed. So what I've learned is that I've learned it through experience, through collaboration. You get farther through working with people. Just generally speaking, in anything you do, you get farther through being cooperative and working with people.
And then more importantly, they say, well, your network determines your net worth. So
That's
it's
a great one.
You want to be not only in the good grace of these people, but be actively building with these people, because you never know where someone's journey is going to lead them and what rooms they'll lead them in. Like, I tell a lot of my friends all the time, like, I hope you guys know that when I enter rooms of opportunity, your name is brought up. You know what I mean? Like, not to be like, oh, I'm the fucking best friend in the world, but like, I feel like that shit's important, because sometimes, like, dude, you know how it is. There'll be people who they're spiteful, who won't help you out, even if they know they can. And like, you're not asking for any, like, for example, online, just asking people for a share or a like, that shit's free. How hard is it to get one of the, like some of that engagement? It's fucking incredibly hard. Harder than people think. If you don't think it's hard, Go try to make a song and have people share it and like it and tell me how it works out for you. Shit's incredibly difficult.
Yeah, unless you got a gang.
Yeah, unless you got a fucking gang. Like, and it's like, even then, like, you're gonna find out, man, when you make music, some of your friends and family and shit they're not gonna support you like you think.
Yeah, I think
You know what
I think
mean?
most people, to be honest, you don't get much support from your family.
No, you
Yeah.
don't. And then that's the thing too, is like, don't hop into this shit thinking people are just gonna come support you. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't work that way.
And you shouldn't even be advertising to them to begin with, if
No.
we're being honest. Like
Yeah.
those aren't your audience.
Dude, the people that get all upset at like the fucking people on Facebook for not sharing and shit, like they're pissed off at their Aunt Sally for not sharing.
Yeah.
Like her friends at bingo.
Like, bro, Sally's in a different world, bro.
Yeah, people that are pissed off because people aren't sharing their music, their friends and stuff, it's just because it's not that good. And I'm just gonna be straight up. I mean, but that's my own opinion. I don't think that's.
Yeah.
I don't think they're that great, and I think that's why some people don't get their shares. You cannot force feed your music to people.
People need to hear that.
Yeah.
You cannot force feed.
That I've learned, like the tagging thing. You can't tag 100 people in a post, and not one of those people is probably gonna listen to that song. If you tagged 100 people in that post, maybe 2 of them are actually gonna follow your link.
Dude.
Like, that's such a bad marketing strategy.
Terrible.
I used
You're
to do it all the
gonna annoy
time, and it was.
You are gonna annoy people. Just, you gotta let it just be. If you're really worried about it, just spend a couple dollars on advertising. You know
Well,
I
what
mean?
you were saying to me before, it's about knowing your audience too. Like,
It
those guys
is.
just aren't your audience. You shouldn't even be wasting your time
That's okay.
clicking that tag button 100 times. That's a waste of your time.
It's insanity.
Yeah.
It's that's by definition insanity. Like, it's not gonna work. But yeah, like, I feel like I was telling you outside, man, like, you have to understand who you make music for. You know what I mean? Are you making music for the guy who fucking works a 9-to-5 job, gets out, fucking, relaxes and drinks a beer? Or you making
Or
music,
you making music for Aunt Sally.
Are you making music for Aunt Sally at bingo? Are you making music for your homeboy in the streets who's out here hustling, on good bullshit out there? Like, you have to know who your music applies to. You can't just throw it out there and expect it to stick with everybody. It's not gonna, you know what I mean? But fucking, that's fine too, because diversity is good.
Of course.
Diversity is a good thing. There's someone out there who will fuck with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you were saying you got fans in different countries.
Dude, different countries. Just fucking experimenting with like advertising and shit. I actually ended up getting a feature from a guy in Canada. You know what I
Really?
mean? One of the only people to ever pay me for like a feature. He was fucking from Canada, like Vancouver or something. Like, I don't even know.
Through doing interviews, I got a collab with the guy out in the UK, actually.
That's dope.
Just like I met him through interviews, and then boom.
I have a fan in the UK. Shout out to him. His name's Dan King. And
Dan
he's like
King.
a rapper. He does his own thing too. And you know how they got like the house, like the
Yeah.
but they're rapping over it.
Whoa.
Imagine that. And my man's
With
spitting.
the UK accent too.
Yeah, with the UK accent. You know what I mean? Like,
When they rap, they sound fucking crazy, bro.
dude, yeah, for sure. But killing that shit, and this is
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like, oh my god, my fat ass would be out of breath like 3 bars in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'd be over there fucking taking a break, drinking the water, but they're like on that shit, and it's like a vibe. You know what I mean? It's like they got their own culture and subgenre of hip hop. And it's like this fucking birth child of like drum and bass and house techno music meets fucking 80s hip hop backpack rap. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Dude, and it's incredible. You know what I mean? So shout out to him. Dan King, man, if you watch this, bro, I appreciate you. Thank you so much, man.
And you only get that through like other cultures too. Like,
Dude, I would have
real-
never fucking known about it.
Yeah.
Had I not ran an ad, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just over there and him fucking reach out to me and be like, yo, your music's dope as fuck. And it'd be a real person, you know what I mean? And like, dude, out of everything I've ever done with music, the most rewarding feeling is when you get the messages from strangers online who are like, I don't know you. You'll probably never meet you, but dude, your music is fucking fire. This song meant something for me, you know what I mean? Got me through a hard time. Like, when I dropped Surgeon for Forever, like, I got a few of those fucking messages. Like, even on there, just talking about, like, you can go look in the comments. There are people on there talking about how, like, they went through hard times and shit, and it's like, wow, like, to me, I was just, like, saying words into a microphone and, like, talking about things I was going through and making it rhyme and adding like a cadence to it. But to other people, like, it was a message that really fucking meant something to them. You know what I mean? And I think about all the times, all the songs in my life that I thought about or played when I went through hard times or hardships. Like, there's always those songs you would listen to, you know what I mean, that help get you through things. And like, wow, my song got to be one of those songs for somebody.
Yeah. I've
You know what I mean?
experienced that where, especially when I was in a band, this happened a lot, where I would go on stage and afterwards you'd get a message from somebody saying, like, I just saw you perform and it inspired me to do so and so. Like, just the energy I had on stage. Yeah. Like, dude, because I read those messages and, like you said, it's the best possible thing that could happen.
Because they don't have to do that.
No.
You know what I mean?
And you know it actually meant something to them because they don't have to.
Yeah, they don't have to. They don't owe you any kind of response or anything. But the fact that they were there in that space and moment in time with me and they shared something and we had that connection, that's meaningful. Like, there's no record label that could come with any amount of money that could like fucking come close to that.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just, that is what makes us human. You know what I mean? And it's just like, those are the moments I do this for. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, like, my goal isn't to get rich and become super successful. My goal is to create art that fucking people enjoy. It helps them get through certain times of their life, or they just have fun listening to it, or whatever. Like, anything that I can do just to make an impact on someone's lives. And like, I'm the same person when the fucking camera's off. Like, dude, one of my favorite things is just to see joy in people's faces. Like, if I got it, you might catch me at the gas station randomly putting fucking gas in someone's car or buying the order behind me. Like, this is the shit I just do. Like, and I don't need it publicized. And like, I'm not saying that for any of this. It's just like the human element, the natural joy. Like, that's what makes me feel good. You know what I mean? Giving to people, experiencing something with someone. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, those are the things that's going to matter. It ain't going to matter how many songs I made. It ain't gonna matter how good I was at rapping. You know what I mean? What's gonna matter is how I made people feel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What kind of impact did I leave on someone's life?
Yeah. I've always wondered what's a good answer for, like, when people ask you, like, what's your goal with your music or blah, blah, blah. And to me, that's always been the right answer, is that to affect as many people as possible. Just simple as that. Like, I just want people to see what I do and to generate something within them, be it positive or negative, whatever it is. I just want them to feel something.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, dude, we're just artists and we live pretty good lives, you know what I mean? Like, there's people that would love to have our struggles, you know what I mean? So, like, if I look at it, like, if anything, like, I'm no one to be put up on a pedestal. Like, I'm no one to be admired, or I don't need fans. Like, you know, like, the people who deserve fans and acknowledgement is, like, you know, the firefighter who runs into a burning building and saves a family, or, you know what I mean? Someone like that, you know, someone who, like, really puts their neck out on line to do something for people. I just want to make music and have fun and just be cool and, you know, whatever.
Yeah. But hey, man, that doesn't discredit that reaction that someone might get from hearing Searching for Forever and connecting with it in that way.
It's weird, though, to have that feeling of, like, a fan. Like, it's like, ugh, fan.
Oh,
no.
me?
Like,
Me?
Like, yeah, like, no, we're friends. Like, you know what I mean? Fans. Because it makes me feel like I'm up here and I don't want to be there. I want to be here. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want you to be here, me up here. I want us to be on the equal level, you know? Like,
yeah. I wouldn't do well with that. Like, if I were popular and people walked up to me and they were a fan, I would never, ever understand how to do that properly, because I treat everybody the same
dude, it's
way.
awkward. It's awkward. It happened to me the other day. I just recently moved, and my new neighbor knew who I was before I knew him. Like, it's weird when people know you before you know them, and then they run up like, "Oh, you're Kevin Klaus," and you're like, whoa, like, what the fuck, you know what I mean? And I was with my kid, too, so it made it even more weird, and he's, like, looking at him and looking at me, like, trying to piece it together. Like, how does this guy even know you? But, you know, he just knew me because of my music. You know, you know what I mean? Like, you establish that brand identity, people become familiar with you, and then it's like I almost forget sometimes, like, damn, I am out here running ads, and people probably seen my fat ass 100 times. You know what I mean? Like, I've never seen them before. But it is cool, though, because, you know, like, you get to meet these people, and at the end of the day, you do get to show them your true self, and, you know, it's like, I'm not an artist, I'm just your neighbor.
Yeah.
I'm just your neighbor.
As long as you do it that way. You know, you can just be yourself. And I think people get the wrong idea. It goes back to what we said before. They think they can't be themselves, and I think it's actually better when you are yourself. I think people relate to that. They like it. They're like, oh,
Super
shit,
better.
somebody that's actually a human. I like this.
Yeah, honestly, it's just like, I don't have the pressure I put on myself no more. That alone was worth it to just kill my own ego, because now I don't have all these lofty expectations, and I don't have to try to meet these fucking standards and expectations that are fucking incredibly hard to do, or match. Like, I can't.
And they're
like
set by you.
Yeah,
You're setting your own.
Yeah, and it's like I'm doing it to myself.
Yep.
Like, I could kill all this extra stress and shit just by being just me.
The human mind is it's a crazy thing, though, man.
It is.
I mean, we can make a mountain out of an anthill, whatever the phrase is.
Dude, my first
anything.
Instagram fucking profile, I had like 20,000 followers, bro. I thought I was fucking Elvis.
Yeah.
Like, can't tell me shit. I got 20,000 followers out here. You know who the fuck I am? You know what I mean?
I was like that at 1,000.
It's like, I made it. Are you
Yeah.
for real? My shit's monetized.
So imagine
You know
how
what I
that
mean?
blue check mark feels.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Once you get there, can't tell me nothing.
So funny because it's imaginary, but it's not. You see it, and you're like, ooh.
It could happen. You see this shit happen overnight. Like look at Pac-Man and Y&J. Like, these guys are from our city, Rio. They did it overnight. Through the
Overnight,
pandemic.
but as we said, they pushed it. They didn't just go off
did.
that initial success. All three of those guys kept releasing stuff.
Dude, and Pac-Man, out of all the,
I love that guy.
man, have you ever got to meet him?
No, I'd love to.
Dude, he came to Wav Village one night and kicked it with us, dude. And he recorded a song, and then we just got an opportunity to pick his brain. He's the fucking genius.
Is he?
Bro, brilliant. One of the smartest men that you'll fucking meet in like this game. Like, dude, he dropped an app that was like a Pac-Man app. But it's
Really?
like him as a mailman. It's like it's like Pac-Man, but like it's a mailman game you can download. That's part of a marketing tactic that he had for an ad campaign.
That's smart.
Dude,
That's
for one of his
good.
releases, like, I'm like, oh my god, it's incredible. Fucking,
Did he have a manager? Do you know?
he does most of the shit himself.
That's
I think he does
wild.
have a manager now, though.
Because if he came up with that himself, my God, man.
Bro.
I wonder if he hit up an app company like, yo, I want to make a Pac-Man
And like
game.
the Dunkin' Donuts endorsement and shit, and like the Puma sponsorship. Like,
Yeah.
he's doing everything the way it's supposed to be done. You know what I mean?
And he's playing off of what works with what he's doing too. He's not taking that and like trying to change it up
Yeah,
too
no,
much.
no.
He's just doing what he does. I think what works the best for him too is that it's not overly gimmicky. It's just gimmicky enough to where he can do it's comedy rap essentially,
Funny
but he
as
does
hell.
it so well.
Does it so well, and the
Yeah.
way he can manipulate his voice sometimes, and dude, his engineer is incredible too. Just the team around him, like they're doing everything the way that it's supposed to be done. Like, honestly, I was taking notes. I was drawing back. I didn't even want to pose for no pictures or nothing with him. I was just like really in the moment, like listening to him, like soaking it in, because he knew what the fuck he was talking about. He was telling us like he turned on the notifications on his Instagram and Twitter to like a bunch of like Say Cheese and like No Jumper and like all them platforms, and
Yeah,
and
'cause
like,
he's probably got to keep his notifications off most of the time.
well, he turned the notifications on for when this was before he got on. He had turned all the notifications on for when they post so that he could spam their comments. You know what I mean? Like before shit got all like with all the bots and shit. Now it's all bots, but like he'd get on there and spam the comments.
That's
Like every
smart.
time they'd post, and he'd be one of the first people on there.
And he's him, so people would see it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
now I kind of do that shit too. So like I'll have like a generic copy and paste and message. Like the one I'm using right now is like I'm doing $1,000 giveaway. So I don't know. Yeah, if y'all watch this, September 20th, I'm giving away $1,000. It's no scam, no cap rap, real money. I'm gonna give you guys $1,000. All you gotta do is follow me on Instagram. My handle on there is Kevin_Clouds. Go follow me, like the post that I got pinned, and then post it to your story. You got a chance to win $1,000. Anyways, I've been using that method to kind of like run that promotional run on there. So like if they post something about Nicki Minaj, for example, I would say the first line, something that pertains to that post, but then be like, anyways, I'm giving away $1,000, y'all. Come check me out, blah, 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 blah.
So you would personalize the post.
I'd personally, you have to personalize it because there's too many bots.
Exactly, yeah.
If you don't,
And you don't want to get
personalize-
marked as spam either.
No, absolutely not. And that's one of the reasons why my fucking last account got the account that I was so excited about with all the fucking followers.
20K.
Yeah, got fucking cut.
Because you were copy pasting comments? Was
No,
that what it
not
was?
that. I'll tell you the story about that. So we all know Long Neck, Daddy Long Neck.
Oh, we do?
Yeah, I got involved with him and his manager on.
He was in one of your videos. Which one was it?
My very first video, Trappin' Ain't Dead.
Trappin' Ain't Dead.
And actually, I got really fucking pissed off at him and his manager for a minute. Now I'm over it now because it don't matter. But I hit them up for some like promotion, you know what I mean, and some marketing. I'm trying to grow my Instagram specifically. So his fucking manager decides to, long story short, just give me a bunch of fake followers, like thousands and thousands of them. And I kind of, at first I was like, oh my God, like I was riding that high, like I got all these followers, this is great. I started looking through them and they're like little Asian kids and shit, with like Pokemon pictures and shit.
With 2 likes on each post.
Yeah, and I'm like, wait a minute, I'm kind of like putting it together. I'm making a post, no one's really reacting, so I'm like, no.
And that kills your engagement.
Dude, it buried me so fucking deep in the algorithm that I wouldn't have been able to get out of it anyways, had I wanted to. So I hit them up and I'm like, yo, this is bullshit. Like, you guys fucked me over, blah, blah, blah. Fuck you guys. And him and I exchanged words on social media, and that was the end of it. But long story short, don't buy fucking followers. Don't buy views. Don't buy streams.
No matter what they tell you.
No matter what they tell you. If someone has a fucking opportunity for you that says, oh, I can give you 1,000 followers for fucking $10, don't do it. You cannot buy followers. You have to get them organically.
And the
just like
reason is as
streams.
simple as this. Imagine that 50% of your followers on your account didn't do anything every time they saw your posts. Every time they saw your posts, they scrolled right past it. They didn't even look at it for a split second. So if that happened every single time, then your engagement goes, like he said, it's just completely gone.
They
it's
bury
not there
your posts because that's essentially telling the
algorithm.
it's telling the algorithm like people aren't interested in this content.
Yeah, I made the mistake of doing that early on. I think with my one of my Instagram accounts, and I had regretted it ever since. On Instagram, you can at least go through and make people unfollow you. So I had to go through and try to see, oh, is this fake? Is this fake? Is this fake? To try to minimize the damage. But who knows? Maybe it's already done because of that. Like, you never want to do it. You never want to do it.
Yeah, you don't want to do that at all.
I was an ignorant little boy.
It's better to have 100 people who fuck with you than to have 100,000 people who don't fuck with you. You know
Same
what I mean?
thing with TikTok. That's why it's interesting to me that you can, because there's an option to advertise in order to gain followers, but you'll have people follow you and then they don't engage with your content a lot of the time. So you're paying to ruin your engagement a little bit. Like, you'll get 200 followers, or maybe like you'll get, I guess, like 50 followers off about a $10 advertisement, but those 50 followers don't engage with your content. So that's a very, very easy way to shit on your content. Same thing with TikTok. They have a lot of follow for follow on there. No. Don't follow for follow ever, because they ain't going to look at your stuff either.
And
they don't care.
A lot of them people will get you to follow them just so they can immediately unfollow you too.
Yeah.
It's like, that's a little scam that they have. Like, they'll be like, yeah, follow me, I follow back. Then you follow them, and then they follow you, and then 3 days later they don't follow you no more.
This is how I messed up on my TikTok originally. Is there was a couple of those videos where you had to follow them back, but then there was a bunch of them with this sound where it said, if you comment on the video and like someone else's comment, everyone who likes your, like, oh yeah, you comment on this video, everyone who likes your comment, go follow them. So it was basically, oh, I'll just go like all the comments in all these videos. I don't even have to do anything.
Right.
And so I got a bunch of followers, but they're all like 5-year-olds who don't post anything or...
Not the followers you want.
No.
Sure.
And I realized right away it was a mistake because TikTok been shitting on me ever since, dog. God damn it. I got like viral videos on there. They don't care. They don't care.
No.
I'm on that TikTok grind. They don't like, I got no love over there.
You
I
have to
swear
spend
to
a
God.
couple dollars at this point now.
Oh yeah, and I've been did that. They don't care.
Oh man.
They don't care. They want me to spend millions.
Oh yeah, they do.
And you know what? I want to go to LA and hang out with the TikTok kids. I do. So I got to get famous on there.
So what are they? What do you think they're like when the camera's off?
Weird.
Super weird.
Weird.
Weird is subjective though. Like weird, like
LA weird.
LA is super
Which is
fucking
even weirder
weird.
than normal weird, right?
Dude, have you been to LA?
I'd only heard tales.
Oh my god, it smells like cat piss.
I bet it smelled well because it basically is cat piss everywhere.
Dude, LA is not my favorite.
LA is good for for the idea of it. The past glory of LA is fun.
LA is like a dream.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like it's not real. Like
You
nothing
get
there is
there
real.
and you're like, oh, I see.
Everything's fucking fake, except especially the people.
That's why I haven't gone, because I'm not terribly intrigued. I know I'm gonna be disappointed. I'm just waiting for it.
Dude,
you know?
like you introduce yourself to people and they're like, "Do you got Instagram? How many followers you got on Instagram?" Like,
That's why they live in LA.
like, bro, like I would. First of all, I wasn't even gonna bring up Instagram. Like,
Yeah.
How did we get here in this point? This conversation. But that's how they are, dude. Like, they judge each other. It's like that episode. Did you ever watch Black Mirror?
Oh yeah.
Dude, you see the episode where old girl gets invited to
the
her
premiere
wedding?
of season 4, I think it was.
She gets invited to
it was
the wedding.
the app where everybody had the ratings and all that.
So you have like your social score and shit. That's kind of like how it is out there. Like everyone judges you by how many followers you have and like if you're blue check verified. How many celebrities do you know? Like none.
Yeah, I imagine being
Pokemon.
Yeah, isn't it?
Fucking-
How many Pokemon do you have?
Yeah, like
Open up your Pokedex.
yeah, right.
Yeah, for sure. That's what it's like. Like they collect blue checks and shit. Like,
Yeah. And they're always trying to battle. They're always trying to battle. Like if it's Pokemon, they want to catch your Pokemon.
And what's crazy too is like some of the biggest. I'm not even gonna mention no names, but some of the biggest profile people I've ever met. Like celebrity status, are some of the like most dull, boring, like unoriginal people.
You know what I think it is
personalities.
though? I think a lot of it is either they end up in that position because they're that way, or it's that the world is in this crazy place to where, like we've been saying, they feel like they can't say this and that, so they just they dull themselves down to that.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, if you were a popular 15-year-old TikTok star, you're not going to say anything that the people aren't going to want to hear. Even if you're anybody in LA that's trying to get famous, you're trying to get hired by so-and-so, you don't want to say anything too off the wall.
I mean,
Sounds like a nightmare in itself right there.
even as a music artist, like I don't want to live a majority of my life in front of a camera or a microphone either.
Yeah.
Like I still really value my privacy and like being home with my family and just hanging out and being normal. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not big on the whole celebrity allure. Like,
You familiar with GaryVee?
I love fucking GaryVee, man.
He would tell you the exact opposite of what you're saying. Be like, no, man, get a camera on you all the time. I'm telling you.
And
Hire somebody. You don't even have to worry about it.
And he's right because he understands the importance of content, and he understands how like it can be monetized and how it can be utilized, and I get that, and I appreciate that. GaryVee is like I said, I love GaryVee. I don't agree.
He's a scholar.
I don't agree with everything he says, but I think most of the stuff that he says, if you apply it to your life, will help you become successful. You know what I mean? And I feel like he's one of them last people who still is not only unfiltered, but everything that he says comes from a genuine place. Like, I feel like he doesn't really care if, you know what I mean, if you're the janitor or the CEO. You know what I mean? I feel like he's still going to be the same guy. He's going to keep it real with you no matter what.
If you're a janitor, he'd walk up to you and be like, man, we can really make this work.
Have you tried turning your mop into NFT? It's tangible. It's more tangible than you think it is.
It's more tangible than it is in your hands right now.
Right. For real. Just fucking do it, man. Anybody tell you no, man, don't listen to that bullshit. Just do it anyway. You know what I mean? But I love those messages. I love his confidence. I love the fact that he's like, yeah, people tell you no 20 times. Who cares?
Yes.
Like, fucking keep going. You know what I mean? And, like, honestly, I apply those messages to my life. Like I said, like, I'm still looking for that one yes.
Yeah.
We all are. We only need that one yes, so.
See, I feel like I relate to Steve-O a lot because Steve-O calls himself an attention whore, and I think that's where it comes from for a lot of us people. I think we want attention. We want that yes. We want people to look at us and go, yeah, you did it.
Or, like, for the other of us, like, we want that sense of security, that sense of family, that home. Like, I want to belong somewhere. I want to be around people who are like-minded, people who feel the way I feel. Not necessarily yes men. I don't want to be around a bunch of conformists, but I want to be around people who share similar beliefs. You know what I mean? I feel like that's natural for all of us.
Oh, for sure. Because, I mean, usually that comes from a deficit of that. Usually it's like you didn't have that many people that shared that interest. And then when you get that, it's dope as hell because now, oh shit, we can all do this together and push each other.
And that's also why you can't be mad at fucking Aunt Sally on Facebook.
Exactly. Aunt Sally's not supposed to do that for you.
Aunt Sally is not your promoter.
No.
Like,
She ain't going to sit here and workshop your songs with you, man.
I swear.
She's not going to.
Yeah, like,
Aunt Sally's got nothing to say about the EQ.
yeah, not at all. She is not gonna get you radio play. None of that.
So, Sally, you like this hook?
But no, people really beat themselves up about it, and I understand it because I've been there. It makes you feel like people don't fuck with you, but that's not it. That's all in your head.
You know what? GaryVee gave me this advice. Audit your inner circle.
Yes.
You do not stay around the people who don't...
Hire and fire accordingly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because if somebody's dragging you down, no. Get them out of there. Get them out of there and
Yeah.
pick somebody better that's not going to do that to you. Because the longer you let them do it, the more it poisons everything you're doing.
Yeah, for sure. And we're not here a very long time. You
No.
know? Like, even if you live a life of 100 years, that's not long.
And you know what? Back to Wav Village, that's why it hurts to see it fall the way it is, because that was, like you said, the idea behind it is to bring that energy into one place and to push people.
And not only that, like, just to create that space where you can come in and get developed as an artist, learn the ropes. Like, imagine if fucking you had a place to go to when you were just starting 10 years ago, and like it was a one-stop shop where they teach you the whole entire process of being successful in today's world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, you can do anything from learn how to make a song to learn how to fucking make a reel, and you know what I mean? Like, learn how to do fucking audio production or video production or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, it was pretty much limitless. Like, you can learn how to do all of it if you wanted to. Just come hang out. Like,
Yeah.
we had fucking open doors.
And it's a great rate. Did we even say the rate? I don't think we did.
The rate was $50 an hour with an engineer included. Like, one of the best there fucking is. Yeah, and then, or if you want to bring your own engineer, we would charge $30 an hour, basically. Or we'd have fucking deal. Like, we work with people, too. We understand, like, it's hard. We fucking... when we was doing, what, 5 hours for 100, 6 hours for 100?
Yeah, no engineer.
No engineer, 6
Wow.
hours for $100.
And they keep the stems?
They walk away with everything. We don't want to keep your files. Please take your files with you.
Yeah,
Don't
don't
call
make me responsible for those.
Yeah, we are not.
Yeah, and no, and a lot of artists don't know too though. Like, if you pay for a studio session, you legally own those stems. Like, they can't keep the stems from you. You do own your masters as long as you paid for that studio session.
Now, there does always need to be an agreement though on like when they receive the stems.
Paperwork is crucial too.
Yeah, like, are we getting the stems the day after? Are we getting them a week later? Because you guys are going to delete it. I mean, whoever the studio is, they don't have space for everybody's stems. That's
Yeah.
the problem. Motherfuckers hit you up 2 months later like, hey man, can I get a radio edit for this song?
You know,
don't
we
got the
actually
stems.
we experienced that, you know, through trial and error. And we learned the hard way that, you know, it's not a good idea to hang on to people's shit or to let them leave without taking it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean, with them, because
That's either through experience or through stories. That's the only way you learn that one.
yeah.
Yeah, because then you can get other artists just opening up. Like, if they book the session and they have their own, you know, no engineer, they could just go through and see what other songs have been made.
Oh,
So
was
now-
that happening?
We've heard it happen. Somebody said it happened, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, there was
You had a spy.
well, there was an instant where people were in there listening to like unreleased real music, or
Oh, no.
like, I think it was Crispy Life Kid or YSR Graham's music or something, and they were like caught red-handed, and I don't know who it was. Someone walked in there and was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Like, you know what I mean? They're just vibing out and shit, and
Yeah,
like,
they could be going live on Instagram or something.
That's where the risk is.
yeah, or just taking the file with them or whatever. Like, you don't know if that song's fully mixed, if that's the final version or anything. Maybe they don't want to hear it. You know, they don't want you to hear that shit yet.
Yeah, and also, I mean, the real thing I think would be if it were on camera. Because if they didn't want you to hear the shit, that's a personal thing. Like, let's just not tell anybody you did that. But if they turn a camera on and post that, oh, that makes everybody look bad.
Yeah, we look like assholes for sure. We don't want that happening.
And so, yeah, you had to walk in there and reprimand them.
Oh yeah, you gotta go in there and slap them on the wrist.
What are you doing?
Don't do that.
Yep.
You can't do that here.
Take your music with you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Take your music with you so we can delete it immediately.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I would do it just for the security of because I would not want the artist to be thinking that I have any of the, like I said, radio edit, come back to me 2 months later. I don't want you to be upset that I can't do your radio edit, bro. I warned you.
Right.
I warned you.
Like, half the time I can't even keep my own shit in order. Like,
That's what I'm saying. Like, I need
don't put this responsibility on me.
Man, I need USBs and hard drive toasters. I need lots of things, man.
Right.
It ain't easy around these parts.
No.
Especially if you do video. 4K? My God, that's so much worse than music files. It takes up space so fast.
Talking about gigs upon gigs.
Yeah. Like, you don't want to edit. You just let the editor do it. You don't want 4K. Now that 4K's around, you don't want it. Unless you got a nice PC, just let them do it. Just stay away. Don't even touch it. Windows Movie Maker's not what it used to be. I'll tell you guys now. I was going to ask. It's great that you brought him, because I wanted to ask, how did you meet Weet? Because we know the origin story of you, but we don't know where these dots connect, right?
Honestly, I met Weet through the cannabis world, honestly. We're both potheads.
Yeah.
So, like, I first met him there, and then I found out that he did music and shit, and then he was the person that I had hit up to be like, yo, like I knew him already.
Wasn't it Arline that kind of...
Arline was the one that was basically like, yo, Charlie has fucking a studio at his house.
Yeah,
So he brought you over, then he brought me over. We both met you through Arline then.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Essentially, yeah. Like, cause
I knew Kevin, like, I never really knew him like that, but I knew of Kevin, like, years, like 05, 06.
it actually started in like a fucking Snapchat group. I got put in some Snapchat group chat, I think.
Well, it's good. I started that group.
Oh, and we must have just
Telegram.
randomly been friends on there or something.
Yeah.
And then I got to actually meet him and then Arline like kind of like really cemented our friendship, because like I knew him and shit, but we didn't hang out or like kick it until I started making music.
Yeah.
And when I did get back into it and record, he was who I went to, and I just never left. He's just been stuck with me ever since.
There's just a musical chemistry there, apparently.
Oh yeah, he's
It
going
works.
with me all the way.
Yeah.
He's stuck with me now.
Because I remember when I first talked to you, and you told me that, is it Weet? Is that the name? I don't know what the producer name is. I always go between
Weet and Chuck the Deuce.
Chuck the Deuce. I like Chuck the Deuce.
Chuck
Yeah.
the Deuce.
So Mr. Chuck the Deuce. I remember when we first talked, you were saying how you like to have artists there so you can kind of have a session and make the beat with them. So that's why I say it must have been a good chemistry if we keep working together. It must have been like he got what you were trying to do, I have to imagine.
Dude nailed it. Like, for example, he brought up Just Like That. That was one of them songs. There was another one where we did Start a Wave, where he kind of just like made it. He was like eating shrooms, and I was all fucked up off acid, tripping all hard.
Sounds like
shit.
a party.
Dude, we were having fun, and we were experimenting with the mic and shit, and like he was having me yell from like the hallway into the mic and shit. Like, we were just doing all kinds of crazy off the wall, but like little did we know it at that time, that was also like cementing our friendship. We were building a rapport with each other, and like a lot of chemistry. And now it's like I don't want to record without him. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of like you know, Drake don't really record without 40, you know, with his engineer. Like it's just like you get used to a certain process, a certain way of things. Like yeah, like I can record at home, and it's cool. It ain't the same though, because like I said, sometimes like fuck, I will get stuck or frustrated, and it'll be a simple fix, but I don't see it or hear it, but he does. You know what I mean? And then like instead of fucking being stuck for 20, 30 minutes on one part, he comes up with the quick fix. Boom, we just keep it moving. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Keep the flow going. So,
Yeah, and you need that little, as long as it's the big brain energy we were talking about.
Big brain
As long as you got
energy.
that other big brain in the room. And as long as our objective is similar. Like he knows where you're headed.
Exactly. I feel like that's another thing too, is like with us growing together, like he knows how to give me advice and things, because like he knows the type of sound I'm going for, just because he already has that familiarity with me. You know what I mean? Like for an example, on the Stranger Things song, like I was stuck. I didn't, actually at that point I didn't even get stuck. I said something, and then he was like, "Oh, I already know where you're going with this." He said, "You're gonna say something about a day job," and I'm like, "Well, I wasn't, but now I am." 'Cause, well, dude, that's fucking awesome. Like, yeah, of course. And then he brought the take in, and I said, "If you can't get it out the mud, get a day job." You know what I mean? And it just fit. But I wasn't even thinking about that, and now it's like one of the most quotable lines of the entire song. You know what I mean? And it just happens organically and natural. I didn't sit there and be like, no, hold on, just let me come up with something. You know what I mean? Like, no, I embraced it. I welcomed the idea. I put my little twist on it. We put it down, and it fucking worked out, and it like benefited the song. Like,
It becomes its own thing, really.
Yeah,
like it's something outside of yourself, even.
Song's better because of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, that's what you want, right? Like,
Yeah.
Are you care about your ego, or do you care about making good music?
And do you want people around you that are going to be yes men, or do you want people around you that are going to see that potential in what your work is?
I want people around me that see my potential, but also keep me in check. You know,
Yeah.
like I feel like I need that sometimes because I'm one of them type of people where I'll try to do so much that I need to be cut down sometimes. Like I need to be pulled to the side and be like, yo, you're doing too much. You know what I mean? Because I get like laser focused sometimes, like tunnel vision. You know what I mean? And it's like if I'm running with an idea, I'm gonna run until my fucking feet bleed.
Well, you know,
what I mean?
dude, it kind of is like when you see or you'll hear about like people who make. I'm sure Weet's even had this, where you'll be up late at night and you're making a beat and it sounds dope as hell, and then you play it back the next day and that shit is trash. Like it is not what you thought it was.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Had a couple too many beers. Shit.
But it's unless you got somebody to keep you in check, you'll just keep going.
Yeah.
You're too deep. You're too deep in.
Too invested. And that's the thing too, is just like being able to separate yourself from you know, like I said, killing that ego and separating yourself from the artist. Like, you know, like sure Kevin Clowes is performing this song, but like I said, it's both of our song. You know, like it doesn't sound good without his mix, so it's his song too, right? You know what I mean? So like of course I need to be welcoming of his ideas. He cares about the quality of this shit just like I do. It represents him just like it represents me. So like I can make it easier on all of us by just working with him, not against him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's
I
not-
think the more ideas, the merrier too, right? Like,
Yeah,
let's throw more stuff out there.
It's not like he's gonna be like, "Hey, say you're a fat bitch right here." Like no.
Thanks for the idea, but no, man.
right. Like no, he's saying things that make sense that complement the song. You know what I mean? So it's cool. Like I said, I appreciate having that. Like some artists don't have that person. You know what I
No,
mean?
not at all. I mean, a lot of people don't have people on their side, on their team, in my opinion. And they might have like one person if they're lucky. And I think that, you know, it's a blessing when you
It
do
is.
find those people who see the same way that you do. And
It
you
is.
can actually work with them. I mean, it's almost like the stars align, right?
Yeah, and on that, like you have to really recognize it and appreciate that too, because I feel like a lot of artists when they do, like they reach a little bit of success, they kind of forget about the people around them that help mold them into who they are, that help them get there. You know what I mean? And it's like they get the David Ruffin syndrome, where
You
it's
get blinded
like,
by the lights.
yeah,
Man.
no one came here to see you, Otis. Yeah, didn't no one come here to see you, Weedy? But it's like, no, we fucking helped make me who I am. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's like, you have to understand and appreciate that shit too. Like, wow, I can't even be me or do what I do without his help or his contributions. You know what I mean? So it's like, you just have to fucking humble yourself and just be appreciative. Just anybody, like, fuck, hold the door open for me at Walmart. You know what I mean? I'm thankful. You know, just you got to be thankful for everything.
Yeah.
People don't have to do shit for you.
No,
You
never.
know what I mean?
Never. And that's why it's always, it's like in that Diary of a Wimpy Kid movie, the second one, where he gives his little brother advice. He says, set the expectations low. You know, like get an F all the time, so when you get a D, you know, they're happy. Whereas if in your brain you expect people to be shitty, and then you're nice, and you see other people be nice, it makes the world a beautiful place.
It does.
When you see people be, because you can't just expect things to be ideal. You can't. The world
That's
just ain't
not the
that
world
way.
we live in.
No, and so that's why you have to seek out that positivity and put it out yourself, in my opinion, because it's not there by itself. It doesn't exist in a vacuum.
Yeah, everything is conscious, man. Everything is relative. So
And motherfuckers be negative, man. Like people will
We're-
drag you down. You have to like fight them back with your
we're
positivity.
surrounded by negativity
Yeah.
here. Like Flint is just one of them places. Like I love Flint to death, but we really do have that crab in the bucket mentality here. Think about if the artists all worked together, if they fucking organized and really like wanted it for everybody to work, you know, and not just a select few. The strength that we could have in numbers would be insurmountable. We could really cause a ripple effect. You know,
You know
what
what
I
I
mean?
think we need? We need a resurgence of Fly Sci. Maybe a rebranding. Maybe we call it something else. but we start ciphers with artists in the city. We aren't.
You hear that, Arline?
You hear that, Arline? And we don't pick favorites. We try to reach out and get different types of rappers from the city. I think shit like that, where we incorporate each other and actually work together on camera, really goes a long way. It goes a long way because people need to see people collaborating. They need to see it.
Yeah, people need to understand too, though. Like, it's okay to not, like, it's okay. Like, say for example, if you and I, we made totally two different kinds of music.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay to put ourselves in each other's realms and support each other, even though we're not in the same bracket or the same lane or whatever. You know what I mean? I feel like a lot of people aren't willing to do that because, like, the sound isn't similar. It's like, it's not their sound. You know what I mean? So, like, they automatically dismiss the idea of supporting or uplifting the people who they see as competition, more or less, you know?
It's cross promotion, baby.
Yeah, like, why not tap into my audience and then me tap into your audience, and now both audiences fuck with both of us. You know?
Yeah, because the thing is, people are complex. They might like you, but they might like me too, even though we're...
Or they might like you last week and like me this week.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to be your catapult. A lot of times, like, they don't want to be the one, like, oh, we swap fans, but you blow up and I don't.
Yeah, they feel like they get
like
left behind.
Yeah.
And it's that crabs in a bucket mentality.
It is.
Like, these are mine. These are my fans. You keep your fucking paws off them.
For me, I'm not gonna measure my happiness or my success by how far I go in the music industry. If I blow up, cool. But if I could help someone else blow up, dude, that is fucking amazing. Like, you know what I mean? I got that power. Like, I could do that. Why not? It don't cost me nothing.
Yeah, man.
Like I said earlier, fucking a like and a share and shit's free. Like, anybody who like, all the people who message me, or anyone who's ever messaged me and asked me if I could share their shit, I've always done it.
That's why I like doing, I feel like every live show I do now, I want to do at least some kind of giveaway. Because it's the coolest thing to end the show by handing somebody money or something like that. It makes you feel good. Because you know you just did something for... You did something for somebody.
And it could be the littlest thing. Like, yesterday I was at Speedway and I was just bullshitting with the guy behind me. And he was joking and he told the cashier, oh yeah, you can go ahead and throw my pop on his tab. And I was like, no, for real, you can. Like, for real. And he was like, for real? He was like so shocked. And I was like, no, for real. Like, I want to buy your pop. You know what I mean?
He's thinking, I say that shit all the time. He actually did it.
And I did it. And he was like, wow, cool. He's like, are you sure? He asked me if I was sure. It was like $1.60.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Like, yes, bro, I'm sure. It's fine.
I would do the same thing. I'd be
You
like,
know?
really, man? Really?
But it's like, you know what I mean? And I just told him, I was like, you know, I don't want anything. Just pay it forward. Like, if you find yourself in a position where you can help somebody out, even if you don't have to, you're not asked to, you don't need a fucking camera on you. Like, just do it and live in that one moment with that one person. You know what I mean? That one moment of joy with them.
And that's why
Hold on to it.
That's why people say, you know, when they see those YouTube videos of somebody donating to a homeless person with the camera on, they feel it's not genuine because you're doing it with the camera on. It should. I think it goes both ways. I think that it's a display of kindness that's meant to inspire people to commit the same acts of kindness, and that's the way it should be looked at. But at the same time, if you're the guy who does that off camera, that's a real show of character. That part is true. If you do that off camera, you are the guy.
It's like, who are you when you turn the camera off? Like,
yeah,
and you that's turn the shit off like right now, and the conversation would carry on the same way.
Exactly.
I'd have the same attitude, same perspective. You know, everything would be the same, and that's who I aim to be. To me, that is success.
That's cool, man. That's cool.
Like Rockstar Billy. Shout out to Rockstar Billy. Are you familiar with Rockstar Billy yet?
Yes.
Dude, incredible talent. Okay, listen. One of the best lines ever in one of his songs, he said, I make it cool to be yourself. Dude, yes. Like, that's the type of energy I'm looking for out of life. Like, be you. You can't be nobody else. Why would you even fucking want to be? You know what I mean?
You can only be you.
Like, yeah, you can only be you, and you be good at being you. Just be the best you can be. Be the most you can be. You know what I mean? Give us every little ounce of you. You know what I mean? Like, because at the end of the day, that's the only thing we'll ever have, you know?
And I feel like that's the best way that you could make art. Like, that's the part that's the juggling act for me, is learning how to be you while, like it's like what we said before about being the guy who doesn't give a fuck. You have to do that while giving just enough of a fuck to make it marketable. That's the balancing act, because you can't go so far in that direction. It still has to make sense to people. That's the hard part. Because I think people it's very easy to get that ego and get caught up in your own shit by trying to be yourself, that you actually lose touch on what's really working.
Yeah, you do. And
Yeah.
I did. Like, you can just look back at my timeline. That happened to me already in my short-lived career.
I have to ask, you had a song called 1111, right?
Yes.
So what the fuck happened to that song?
So the song, actually, I just need to fucking promote it a little bit harder. And honestly, I still am retroactively trying to promote it. But
So it's still out there.
it is.
I thought there was a music video and I just couldn't see it.
It's on Julian York's page. If you type in Kevin Clouds 1111, it will pop up, but it's not on my page.
That's where it is.
But the video is super dope. If you haven't seen it, I really suggest you go check it out. And obviously not just because it's my video, but the song's dope. And we flew out to Utah to shoot it. So like,
shout out Julian York,
dude,
too.
Julian York is amazing. He's in California now, like really doing his thing, walking
Yeah.
red carpets, modeling, shooting videos.
Is he
shooting
from
movies.
here?
He's from here. He's
Wow.
from Flint. Yep. His parents owned a carpet shop on Miller Road. He's a product of Flint, like born and raised.
Wow, because
Yeah.
he's next level talent. When I see his visuals, he's
Incredible.
really you can tell he's got an eye for the camera. You know?
And like the thing is too is like there's a lot of really dope cameramen around here, but like what sets him apart from most is like he's really gonna think about it. Like he's gonna write you a whole video treatment. Everything's gonna be organized, planned out, everything. Like it was so cool shooting with him because he made it easy. Like everything was already pre-planned, and he basically just told me what to do, and I just did it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like he made it easy for me because all I did is just play the song for him, and he like the moment he heard it, he was like, "We got to go to Utah."
Man, so he really has a big visual thing in him then.
That's him,
He just
like-
saw it right there.
Yeah, like because it wasn't my idea. Like Utah was never on my fucking radar ever. Like I would never go there. You
He
know what I
even
mean?
saw the location in his mind of the
Bro,
video. Yeah.
knew exactly where we was gonna go. Like already took us there, and fucking it turned out beautiful. We had all the fucking mountains and shit, and even just like being in Utah. Like if you ever get a chance to go to Utah, please go to Utah. It's so serene and just like beautiful, and the nature. Like it's like that winding. Remember the winding road with the fucking mountain and the waterfall and shit, the stream and.
I remember everything, bro. I remember driving the Tesla through the salt flats, just whipping it, bro. Right?
Yeah.
That's the part that's on the video, right?
So there's actually a story behind that story. We crashed a fucking like $200,000 vehicle while we was out there. Yeah, we can talk about it now because the insurance and everything went through. Like we kept it a big secret for a long time because we didn't know how it would play out. But now everything got paid for, and we fucking had
Is
to come
this
up
on
with some-
camera somewhere?
Not the actual crash itself, but all the events that led up to it were. Basically, what happened was like some salt got trapped in like the brake line on this like AMG Mercedes like SUV truck that we had, and the brakes basically wouldn't work, and essentially one of the people we was with fucking slammed into the side of a salt dune, totaled the vehicle.
Yeah, they had big fucking dunes, probably like this tall, just big old lump and just a long strip of it. So I think it was to keep people out of that section because it was like really wet over there. I don't know.
It could have been worse if you didn't have that cushion to crash into, right?
Oh, dude, honestly, it was bad. I'm surprised. Like, I was off shooting the video when it happened, so I didn't get to see it until afterwards. I got to look at the footage and shit. But like from what I could tell from looking at it, man, like I'm surprised no one got seriously fucking hurt. Like, thank God everyone walked away. There was like minor
Any
bumps and
accident like
bruises,
that.
but dude, it was incredible. The fucking car was all mangled up and shit. It was weird. Like, it was eerie feeling, you know what I mean? It changed the whole fucking course of the trip too, because like things got real tense with the people we traveled with, and then like it just got all weird, you know what I mean? Like it was supposed to be a fun trip, got real like stressful.
All of a
and
sudden,
hostile.
something's in the air.
Yeah, just because none of us knew what was gonna happen. People was all bruised up. The truck was all fucked up.
Oh, dude, my God. I mean, that's... Oh, we do have a photo. Here, we'll flash that to the GoPro here.
Oh
in a
yeah,
second.
first time ever
my
showing
God.
anybody this, because like I said,
You've seen this, I'm
yeah,
sure.
that was it. So
All right,
like,
here, let's show the camera. You just put it right up to the front because it's a big wide camera.
so yeah, we fucking totaled that bitch.
Wow.
And I was
I didn't
like-
know we had a picture.
Yeah, it's like a $200,000 car.
That's
or it
wild.
was at the time.
And
yeah.
for those listening on audio, it is totally smashed in the front. I mean,
Fucked
that's
up.
what we're seeing. It is really the front. That's why we're lucky, because if it had been a more of an impact. I mean, I guess cars are built that way for a reason. But say we were just turning a little bit, we could have rolled over.
Anything, and it's crazy. Like that's why I say, man, I pray to God, thank God, no one really got too hurt.
That's how I feel when any accident ever happens. I'm just like, is everybody okay?
Yeah, that's the most important thing. Fuck that car. You know what I mean? Like, fuck. Who cares? But dude, yeah, we had a couple different cars out there. We took the Tesla out there. Don't ever do that. The Tesla will definitely snitch on you. Like, it's funny. So we rent the fucking brand new Tesla, and we're out there and we're going like 130, 140 in the salt flats. And the next day it comes and we have to go give the car back to the owner because we got it on Turo. And we're going to, it was Ahab, I think. Or was it Ahab that was turning in the Tesla? It was Ahab, I'm pretty sure.
No, it was under yours.
It was under my name, but I think Ahab was the one who dropped it off. And this dude just went crazy.
Because he knew how fast you went?
Yeah, the car basically sent him a fucking detailed report. Like, how fast it was going.
130, but I seen 143 when me and Arline was in there. Dog, I got video of it.
He said, just for the record, we was going 143. We was out there going fast as fuck.
Because you're thinking he's lowballing it. We were definitely going faster than that.
Oh, yeah, it was in fucking valet mode, too. So it was like, it didn't have the balls like it was supposed to have. So it was slower than normal.
Wow.
It's kind of weird, like, driving on the salt, which is, like, so smooth. It's like the smoothest surface you'll ever drive. It's weird. It's kind of weird feeling.
Well, also when you're going that fast. Had you ever driven that fast before? Either of you?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I have. I don't know.
Because I think the fastest I've ever went is 110. Of course, not on the highway or nothing like that, but...
Some of my friends have some really fucking fast cars.
Man, I would love to just be a passenger,
Shout
right?
out to Charlie Boy Mark, man. Hey, one time it was funny, though. He was driving in his Challenger, and he was still just learning how to stick shift at this time, because, like, everything was automatic before that. And he had his dope-ass Challenger, and, like, there's this fucking Ford Taurus that pulls up on the side of us, and, like... They give each other that eye, and I'm just riding passenger, smoking a blunt and shit, and I'm like, oh, he wants to race. And he's like, oh, he wants to race me. He's got a fucking Ford Taurus. We're like, all right, let's go, you know what I mean? And, like, give him that line. I don't know, his shit was supercharged or something, but my man just fucking took off in his little Ford Taurus. We could not catch him. I'm talking about we were in a Chally that goes fucking 140, 150, 160. That boy was gone. We wasn't touching him.
Wow. Wow, but it's the pickup too, right? That thing must pick right up if he was gone.
His shit was souped up. Whatever he had in that hood, I don't know, he had like a V8 or something. That was not your average Taurus.
Wow.
No.
People will invest in those things.
For
man.
sure.
Is this a competitive car? Is that what it is? Is it?
He likes to go fast.
Yeah.
He likes American muscle. I think it's more or less that.
See, that's what's more interesting to me is when they're not even like trying to compete. They just want a really fast car.
Yeah.
Don't we all?
Yeah.
Deep down, don't we all?
I do. I like speed. I like drive fast.
Yeah.
Teslas are so cheap and fast. I mean, the base models are so fast.
Wasn't it like 40,
Everything
30,000
reminds me of her.
What?
I'm just kidding.
Everything reminds me of her.
He said cheap and fast.
But yeah, man, are you talking about like the 30,000 model, or is there a cheaper one than that?
I think that's the one. It's
Yeah.
about 30. Yeah.
Because I mean, that's a great deal if you're into that kind of car. Like if you want to just get the starter model, that's what you go for.
Yeah.
And those things are crazy capable. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The only problem is, I guess they snitch for one thing. Because
They do
who knows?
snitch.
Who knows if what that would if that would do anything with regular speeding? Like,
You
is there a way for
listening,
cops to know that?
Tesla?
No.
Snitches end up in ditches.
Yeah, Tesla. Yeah, Elon. This one's for you, Elon. I don't like that your car does that. Can we talk?
Yeah, same way you don't like that kid reporting where your jet lands all the time.
Now, that was that because he is buying Twitter? Is that why the kid did that?
I don't know. I have no idea, but I think it's funny when the average people just troll celebrities.
Yeah, I don't even if you like the celebrity,
Yeah.
it's funny to watch it happen to them.
Yeah, for sure. And honestly, I like Elon. I like the fact that he trolls a lot of politicians and calls them out for being hypocrites.
Yeah, I like that he. The problem is it's hard to relate to him because in the end he is one of the richest people in the world. But he at least resonates a lot more with me than fucking anybody else in that top 10 list. I'll tell you that much.
Like, I'm definitely not fucking feeling any kind of similarities with Warren Buffett.
It's nice to see someone like him go up and say, I have no respect for the SEC on an interview.
For sure.
Because that's basically laying it out right there for you. I mean, if that guy feels that way, man, it's probably not good news. It's probably not good news. That means the SEC is probably a little funky. But he's smart where he doesn't, he doesn't lay it all out like that.
Yeah, it doesn't get too involved.
Yeah, because, he became the Trump for a little while. He became the Trump for a minute. In fact, he is right now. He's Trump again.
He is.
Yeah. Now they need someone to hate, so Elon's the devil. But Elon is a character, man. If anything, like, I remember when he went on Rogan and he was just talking about, I want to have a rocket that shoots off without blah, blah, blah. And it sounded wild at the time. Now we got those.
Now he did it.
They exist now. It's a rocket that doesn't, it just goes, whoop, it just goes up. Well, that didn't exist, and then he just dreamt it up with his brain. That type of thing is like, you can say people are shitty, you can hate on all these things, but when you have a guy that does that, you have to at least respect the fact that we're going
I think he's an alien.
He's probably an alien, too.
I seen him with his shirt off. He definitely looks like an alien.
Oh, I just saw it. Did we see the same picture? I just saw a picture of him today. He was white as hell.
Yeah, and he's kind of... I'm
off a
fat as
boat?
hell, so I can't be like, hey, he's weird looking, shaped looking, but like...
He's very pale.
He's super pale.
That was what was striking to me, was how pale he was.
Yeah.
It was like, it looked like a guy, he could be an alien.
He was top heavy. Like,
Yeah.
really top heavy.
Yeah. But the thing about him is, he probably is just sitting inside on Twitter, like, playing video games.
Oh, yeah.
He probably is that guy that he claims to be. And so, if that's the case, of course he's top heavy.
So what would you do if you had his money?
Oh, man, that's a hard question. See, the thing is, it's almost a trick question, because who actually knows what they would do with that money? But also, like, if you're in that position, like, people will come at you and say, why don't you end world hunger? And then he says, well, give me a plan to end world hunger and I'll do it. And then they have nothing to say. So it's like, if it were up to me, I would give money to people that I think need it. Like, I would have fun. I would go up to, I wouldn't want to do it to random charities, but I would think like, dude, I'm going to get 50 homeless people together. We're all going to go out to eat at once. It's going to be freaking awesome. I do shit like that. I would do shit where I can see it happening in front of me.
Like Mr. Beast and shit?
Yeah, I would be the Mr. Beast billionaire.
This is dope.
Yeah.
He was the guy you'd want to follow, because have you seen him on Rogan? Totally
No, I
awesome
haven't.
interview, because he's never really went that in depth with his thing, and he's all about giving back, man. That's his, like, he doesn't even save his money.
Shit.
Yeah.
Everything he gives us.
What's that other dude's name who's fucking always giving money and shit out? Hangs out with fucking 6ix9ine and shit.
Oh, well, there's, I don't know, is that all he does, is give away money?
He does all kinds of weird shit. Gives away cars. He like...
There's a guy on Twitter that I knew about that was doing that for a minute, where he would just do random ass giveaways, like whoever retweets this gets a chance to win $20,000. Just random stuff like that.
It's like, those people are real?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, fuck.
I mean, and that to me is where you can really make things happen. Like, obviously, Elon is different because he's putting his money into the ideas that he has. So that is going somewhere. But like, for someone like me, I'm not a rocket scientist. I don't know all this. I'll feed people, man.
Right.
Like, that's to me, that's all I could think to do. But what is it? Power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. That's what the phrase is. And that's why it's a tough question to answer. Because you can say all you want that you would do all that, but if you had all that money, you know how difficult it would be to stick to all those things that you say. It would
It'd be incredibly hard. And you live under a microscope. So it's like, the reason why I even ask is because there's so many people who criticize him and like what he does or decides to do. But it's like, what would you do if you had all his money, you know?
And there's no good answer. There's never a good answer.
Yeah, because whether or not fucking people agree with it, there's going to be just as many people who don't.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
That's why I say the world hunger thing, because no matter how you spend your money, it's a trick. There's a catch to it, because no matter what, you could even have people tell you that you have to do something. They won't actually tell you how to do it, though. They just want to tell you that you're not spending your money the right way.
And plus, like, some of them fucking places where people are really like dealing with starvation and famine and shit, like they're under total control with like fucking extremist leaders and shit. Like, they're like, the UN will go in there with trucks of food and they'll fucking put it in a warehouse and distribute it out, and then fucking a militant group will just come by and burn it down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, there's things that we don't really
With flames
necessarily
supplied
know
by the
about.
U.S. government.
Right. With only U.S. flamethrowers.
Yeah.
But no, like they'll come around and fucking just destroy it just to keep that control over the people. So it's like, it's a problem, but then it's like there's underlying problems that come along with the problem. It's like there's a power structure in place. First, you need to get rid of that power structure. And then it's like, now we bring in the war machine again. And it's like, it's just a never-ending fucking thing.
Yeah, that's
You know what I mean?
Hey man, it's a bleak future because
is.
the only thing I see breaking that cycle is a revolution. You know what I'm saying? We need a little something crazy to change that one.
How far away are we, though, from that realistically? Because with the access to the information that we have nowadays, it's like we know we're being fucked over, so it's only a matter of time before we just all, like, stand up, right?
But this is the thing. If it's true that the FBI is smart enough to infiltrate, they would catch people organizing before the organization actually happens and then make it seem like something it's not. And then the psyche of all of it becomes those guys are the bad guys. So it's so hard to organize against.
Like Black Wall Street and like Move in Philly. You heard about Move? The Move movement. Look it up. It's fucked up. It was like it was a political group in the 1980s in Philadelphia. I think early 90s even, but they try to basically police their own communities, govern themselves, keep their money within their own community, and they're all black. And the government basically stepped in and was like, no, deemed them like political extremists and domestic terrorists. And
it's all in the framing of it, too.
It's all in the framing of it, yes. So, like, these people were not these people. But anyways.
But to the lay person who hears that.
The person who doesn't know better, you know what I mean? Or the person who relies on one source of information and only that source of information, Fox News or, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, of course, that's what they're going to think. But it was like one of the only times in U.S. history, other than, I believe, which is either Waco or Ruby Ridge, where, like, the U.S. government used military or militarized weapons against its own citizens.
Oh, I think I heard of it. Didn't they burn the city down?
They dropped a bomb on top of the apartment building and burned multiple buildings down because of it and killed innocent people.
Yeah.
And all
because they didn't want to be... They wanted to do the Peter Griffin thing. They wanted to be their own country, you know?
Speaking of sovereign citizens, yeah, they wanted to be sovereign, is more or less what it is.
Yeah.
Charlie's actually way more well-versed in that shit than I am, but that was just one specific incident, you know what I mean? And then like, they do paint the images, and like, there actually will be, like...
Waco and Ruby Ridge are good examples, too, of where the government couldn't even make it look like they did the right thing.
No,
like, they tried to paint it in a certain way, and people still are like, nah, that's not.
And then there was an extreme act of violence brought out because of it, like the Oklahoma City bombing, you know what I mean? That was fueled by that. And then they still spewed that in favor of, like,
they turned that into
more government control over the people.
They turned that into that was a big white supremacy scare is what they turned that one into, because they made it a white supremacy bombing.
For sure.
Yeah.
Like them, and they were anti-militia at that point too. Remember, they were going after all the militias.
Oh yes, which is very reminiscent of today. If you look at what's been going on the last couple of years, militias and white supremacy seem to be back in the news.
Yeah, for sure.
But, and that's why I say, man, it's real odd people think these things are that's the past. That's not now.
Yeah, and that's not now. And I mean, granted, you still do have fucking racist people all over, and there are organizations who are racist, and they're founded on the beliefs of racism and segregation and everything else. That shit does exist still to this day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's on us to, you know, really call them out and hold these people accountable for sure. But like, to paint fucking false accusations on groups or people to sway the public's opinion on them is politically irresponsible. You know what I mean?
I couldn't believe I saw this one. I didn't look into it too much, but I'm pretty sure it was the claim that Joe Biden wanted to call Trump supporters, or he wanted to call MAGA people. I forgot what they called them. It was like MAGA people. They wanted to label those guys as domestic terrorists.
The Good Boys or whatever?
Yeah, I think they were going, not the Proud Boys, though, MAGA people. Because Proud Boys are their own thing. He was just referring to Trump people, is what Biden was going
Half
for.
these people are good people, like...
Yeah. Well, and it's just the red hat. You wear that red hat, and all of a sudden...
It's just, I mean... whether you believe it or not, like a lot of these people are just taught to believe what they believe. You know what I mean? They're groomed, more or less.
Well, not
you know
only
what I mean?
that, but there's two sides to every story, right?
Right.
I mean, you have to imagine that there's so much depth to whatever opinion they've gotten to a lot of the time. You can't just assume. When you assume, it makes an ass out of you and me. You know, if I just assume that you came to this conclusion because you are X, Y, and Z, then we can't even have a conversation, right?
Right. You never know what someone supports someone for. Maybe they like Trump's economic policies. Maybe they too disagree with some of the things he says and some of his views.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe they just appreciate fucking his economic practices, you know?
When like we agree on most things. Like if you were to dig a little deeper with whatever thing it is, like that person, maybe you don't like Trump and they do, but you could still find something in there for sure. Like,
Dude,
oh, well, you feel that way? Well, what about this?
my friend Brandon fucking loves Trump, and I make fun of him all the time for it, but it's like, it comes from a good place. Like, he's not a bad person just because I don't fuck with Trump. You know what I mean? Like,
I like going up north and seeing all the Trump people come out, man. It's fun.
yeah,
It's fun.
I like to have conversations with Trumpers because it's kind of interesting.
Sometimes I wish I was one just so I could have that little aspect of my personality, you know? I could have the Confederate flag above my bed and then like pray to Trump at night.
So how do we feel about people who live in the North who fly Confederate flags?
How do we feel? So when I was growing up in high school, I remember there was a kid who had a truck who had a Confederate flag on it. And there was even a popular YouTube video, still up. It's like a debate of a bunch of high school students. Well, my understanding is that the general consensus is that it's not right because the flag can represent slavery. But I look at it as an artist, I look at it as items can symbolize lots of things, and you cannot declare what an item symbolizes to another person. Now, it is true that you can't walk around with a swastika tattoo, though. You can't do that. So I guess a lot of it lies in, it is true that the truth is in the middle. Like, where does society pick? But I don't think Confederate flags, I don't think it's fair to frame them that way because there's plenty of people who are from the South who simply view it as Southern pride.
I just try to understand it. Like, bro, like, if you grew up in Michigan, you're part of the Union states. Like, you're flying the flag of the losing team.
But if you're redneck, you still have that Southern culture in you, man.
Can you be a redneck if you're born and raised in?
Yeah, I had a rapper like redneck. Like he sagged, but he also was a redneck. It was really interesting. He existed. He was in my school. So they exist.
Okay, there
was plenty of rednecks in. I went to Swartz Creek High School. There was plenty of rednecks.
Do you think they
Swartz
listened to Tom McDonald?
He would, because he wasn't around then.
Tom McDonald?
He would have been a Tom McDonald fan for
Isn't
sure.
Tom McDonald like Canadian?
Tom McDonald is I think so. He
does
he
like
looks Canadian.
This pro-patriotism.
Well, Canada's kind of got their own issues as well.
It's like him and his girlfriend were sitting around like, damn. How can we resonate with these dumbass Americans? Like, we're gonna go
white boy.
We're gonna go down to the fucking Bible Belt and wave a fucking Trump flag around.
I mean, he started with the white boy song. I feel like it started because he saw the race shit and he was like, okay, well, that's good. And you know what though? That's the same thing we're talking about because it is like a white pride song. That song, it's a Southern white pride type of thing.
Can you be proud to be white though in 2022? Like,
I think so. Because think about it this way. If you're white, you might, that doesn't mean just English. That could mean Irish. I was having a good conversation with somebody who had a lot of Irish culture in his family, and he was talking about how, like, somebody in his family was Irish royalty, and he found all this out through Ancestry, and it actually made a lot of stuff make more sense to him. Like, oh, that's why I look this way.
Yeah.
So I feel like your ancestry can be very important. I think that it's way bigger than black and white. You know, it's so much bigger than that.
Of course it is. Like I said, fucking diversity is a good thing.
Yeah, so you should be proud of whatever you are.
As Jeff Sky once said, diversity is the pinnacle of human creation.
Yeah. But that's the problem with when people say, you know, if you say I don't see color, people will have a problem with that because the diversity is the important part. It's cool to see
the color.
Yeah.
So let's stop doing that. Let's end that whole fucking dialogue. Oh, I don't see color. Like, my friends are black. No.
That's a Fox News dad statement right
yeah,
there.
like, bro, you're white. It's okay to be white. Your friends are black. It's okay to be black.
And it's cool that they're black, dude.
And it's cool
it gives
that we're
them
all
fucking advantages that you
different.
don't have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And vice versa. Like, it's cool. Embrace that. Like, we're different. It's okay. We're all here. We're on a fucking spinning rock or this flat earth, whatever you believe in. We are sitting here sharing the same space and time. None of us have a fucking manual to life. There's no instruction guide. None of us know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah.
Like, let's just try to get along and fucking be cool and make cool shit happen. You know what I mean? Like, just be cool. Let's make cool shit. Get along. It shouldn't be that hard, right?
Yeah, while
You think?
respecting the shit that makes that shit what it is, you know? Like, I don't think there's the whole culture vulture thing, too. I think people read too far into things. Like, I made hip-hop just to make rap.
That's why
a
I
lot
created-
of people look at things through a lens that makes it harder to even come together. I think that it's just a magical thing in general that we can come together through any context.
I'm glad you brought that up because one of my newest fucking musical adventures is White Trash Soul Food.
Ooh.
So it's
White Trash Soul Food.
Yeah, it's a group. It's a group name. It's me and Ghost. That's our name, our band name, White Trash Soul Food. I know it's gonna be controversial. It's gonna get people asking a lot of questions, like, you know, what the fuck, why, what, you know, what's going on. But we are two white artists in a predominantly black genre, and we make music that represents us, two white boys who grew up in fucking an urban environment. We're products of that environment, so we are White Trash Soul Food. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean? We're white boys with some soul. You know what I mean? That's how I look at it. Like, and it's okay to be that. I'm not trying to be a culture vulture. I'm not trying to take away culture from black people or any of that. You know what I mean? I just am who I am. I grew up here in Flint. It's a part of my identity. Like, I love fucking hip hop music. I love urban culture. I love sneakers. I love fucking basketball, football, everything that has to do with the culture. Like, I live it. I breathe it. I love it. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I'm a white boy. So what? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to take anything away from anybody. This is just what I like. These are my interests. It's who I am. It's part of my identity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it's relatable to just be cool about that, you know?
Yeah.
Like, nah, oh my God, I'm white. I hope I come across the right way. Like, no,
Yeah.
bro, like, just be the white boy you are.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
That's like a lot of time I'm always saying I'm the hardest white boy alive or the coolest white boy alive, whatever. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's cool to be that. Like, I feel like there's a lot of like white guilt and shit going on. Like, we don't really talk about that enough because like it kind of undermines real issues that are going on. White guilt is not a real thing. You know what I mean? It's just an emotion or something that people feel.
It's what is the word? It's identity politics. And
It
getting
is.
caught up in that in general is just you're gonna get too deep into
Don't
the
do
weeds.
it. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But just recognize that it's okay to be who you are. You don't.
You
have
ain't
to
gotta
have,
lie to kick it, man.
Yeah, you don't have to have no shame in who you are. And granted, yes, there was a lot of fucked up things that happened in the past, but they didn't have nothing to do with what we, you know, who we are now, what we're doing now. Like, if anything, I'm advocating for the rights right with you, you know, with everybody else. That's the thing I do is promote equality. And like, honestly, race relations are probably better than they've ever been now throughout the history of time because we are open for more dialogue. We are sitting down with each other and trying to understand each other. You know what I mean? And like, those are things that are important in life. And we're able to do these things because we have things like podcasts and music and art. You know what I mean? Like, it allows us to intermingle with each other, which is good. We need that.
Yeah.
We've had so many years of fucking violence and war and fucking everything else that's going on. Like, we need many years of healing. Like, let's start there. Let's all sit down with each other. Let's understand each other. Let's care about each other. That shit's cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, it's about leading by example too. Like, nobody's gonna do it for you. I mean, you can seek out positivity as much as you want, but you know, the world can leave you with a depressing outlook. I mean, especially when you go too far down those rabbit holes, man. I mean, there's some dark shit out there. And
Yeah.
I think that you have to learn to laugh at those things. I think some of the greatest comedians are people that I can respect for that reason. They shine light on things in a way that I would not even think to. And it reminds me just how comedic, like, everything's just a cosmic joke. hilarious that we're here right now.
And in doing so, it still does bring awareness to those issues too, though.
Yeah.
He found a way to add a little light to that shit that basically lubricated that topic up for a conversation that wasn't basically ready to be had yet.
Which is what we have to do in general. I mean, like, if somebody we just have to be able to have open conversations about whatever. Because I mean, otherwise, I mean, it's as simple as when people don't say anything, nothing happens at all. It's
Right.
Like there's an interaction that happens when we
this shit
share
all starts
ideas.
at home. Like,
Yeah.
it's like the conversations need to be had around the dinner table. You know, it's like with people from different generations than you. You know, because people come from different times in life, and like, you know, you gotta think we're only how many years away from segregation? Not even 100. You know what I mean? So it's like people still truly don't understand each other yet, and like. Honestly, we don't deal with these issues as much being up here in the North because we've been segregated. We've learned to live with each other. Fuck, most of my friends are black. Like, I got my family's black. My daughter's biracial. You know what I mean?
I would argue that most people in poverty are not racist.
Not
Because they
at all.
live with people that don't look like them, and they have
For
to.
sure.
Like,
And that's what I'm saying. Like, you learn to figure it out. And then it's when you do, it's like, how could anybody ever be racist?
Yeah.
I mean, I know, like, the idea of being racist is like,
It's
it
a
don't
conflict
make
of
sense.
interest.
Yeah, it don't make sense to me.
It's
You know
like,
what I mean?
why would you do that? And you be shooting yourself in the foot every time you go outside. If you were the guy, it's like what I was saying before. It almost seems like it would play itself out. Like, you would be racist so many times till you get your ass kicked, and you'd be like, I can't do this anymore.
Why do you want to go around being mad at people for something so stupid and trivial, anyways?
Yeah, and again, I feel like most people even agree on this, and it's just that we have loud voices out. We have the internet. We have people who have an interest in making these issues bigger than they really are. I really don't think that I think most people want to get along. Simple as that.
For sure.
I don't think that the narrative is real. I feel like most people like each other. They want to get along. They don't like politics. They barely even want to talk about it.
Yeah.
And that's just it.
Yeah.
And people if you seek that out in people, you'll get it back. It's just that there's so much negative interference in the atmosphere. It's like the static is just
It is. It's a
fucking
bunch
ruined,
of fucking
man.
white noise.
Yeah.
It's just a way to keep people divided,
Yeah.
more or less.
And it's one love. It's one love. And whenever I'm arguing with this is to close it right there. Facebook, don't even talk to people on there. Like, don't even have a conversation with somebody on Facebook at all.
Yeah.
Just post it and close it, and don't do anything. If you want to comment, you can comment, but don't reply to that comment.
Yeah.
Just leave it alone, because you will never ever get anything done through that, or most social media. Really, you just gotta. Again, the great Joe Rogan taught me that one. You
I'm
post and
banned
you
on
leave it
Facebook
alone.
right now, so.
You're banned.
Yeah, I'm banned. Like,
Yeah.
I got a nice little 30-day.
You probably said something super outrageous. I'm
Oh,
sure.
yeah, I'm sure I had some kind of opinion that was conflicting with something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Honestly, I wasn't even that. I think I posted a picture of weed or something. You know what I mean? Like, it's just something.
I think I saw that picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it you? Did you report my shit?
I was upset, man. I was upset. Your song was doing better than mine.
Oh, fuck.
$1,000 giveaway. $1,000 giveaway. You already mentioned it, but did you said how people enter? I wanted to know where you got that idea, though. Have you done giveaways before?
I have, actually. I've gave away fucking money, gas. I gave away an Xbox.
Yeah.
The new Xbox. I do giveaways all the time. I learned about incentive marketing, call to action marketing. Basically, what I do is like, yeah, sure, I'm giving away money or a prize, but it's in return for something. Like, I need you to subscribe to my YouTube channel, or I need you to share this song, and that's how you qualify. So essentially, it's like you're paying people to do something for you, but you're more likely to get them to do these things for you than if you're just like, hey, Aunt Susie or whatever, please share my shit on Facebook. You know, like,
You're incentivized. You're giving them a reason to do it.
yeah, and it's like they feel like they're part of the process and they get a chance to win something, which is super exciting. And then I get to feel fucking cool because, like, I get to see the joy it brings them, you know, like the girl who won the Xbox, she wanted to get an Xbox for her kids, she couldn't afford it, but then she, you know, just won the fucking contest, and now her son's got an Xbox. It's super cool. Like, I was able to do that for her.
It's just nice to do something cool. It
It
feels
is.
good. Yeah. And I guess it's a plus. It's a win-win.
It is.
Not only is it fulfilling for you as a human being, but I didn't even think about the marketing strategy of it. The call to action. That's a smart word.
So honestly, a lot of if you pay attention to like how I maneuver through the industry, is like a lot of my actions are stemming from marketing strategies.
Because
I studied marketing, digital media marketing.
Before you were an artist.
Not before. After I was like, COVID, the pandemic, we had a lot of time sitting around, so I was just trying to find ways to like, get my music out of there, because I realized like, okay, I gotta find a way to get my music out to the world, because Flint's not it for me. Like, this isn't my target market. How can I get my music to suburbia America? Like, middle of America, USA. Like, that's where my music does well. Got to do it through spending money on ads. That's the only way. So I learned how to do that because, at first I was just kind of winging it, and I wasn't getting the results I wanted. And I felt like I was wasting money. So I went and took a master class online for Google Ads, and then I ended up getting Google Ads certified through their program, and then Meta has one too for Facebook and Instagram, and I took their little course, and I didn't finish it yet, so I'm not like Meta certified, but I dug into it deep enough to get an understanding of how their software works and what to tweak or whatever, how to apply it to music marketing, and then basically, that was it from there. Like I said, I'm just a nerd. Like, I wanted to really understand it. So I sat down and I figured out how to turn my 4-cent conversions into penny conversions. And then, like I said, instead of getting fucking views for 2 pennies, I was getting 3 views for 1 penny. Like, and I just tweaked it, learned more and more about it. And now I can basically just turn myself up whenever I want,
Yeah. And does that make you more confident in putting more shit out, you feel like? Like, the next thing is going to pop off?
It does, because I don't feel like I'm doing everything for nothing. Like I said earlier, like, I was one of them artists who just kind of throw it on the internet, ask my friends and family to share it, wouldn't get the results I'd want, then I'd get discouraged. Well, with advertising, like, you're going to appeal to a bunch of people, and you're going to get 100 no's, but you're going to get a yes every time, 1 out of 100 of those people are going to be a yes, So it's like, it's basically like fishing. I'm taking a net, a huge net, and I'm just throwing it out, and I'm pulling it in, and I'm going to bring in all these fish.
Well, it's kind of like you have to learn how to like optimize the net.
Yeah, you have to optimize the net so that you can get more edible fish instead of like a bunch of bottom dwellers. How do I get more perch? You know what I mean? Or how do I get more whitefish? How do I get more tuna? As opposed to this fucking catfish over here. Or, no, I don't want to say catfish, because I fucking love catfish. But, like, you know what I'm saying? It's like I said earlier, you want to know who your music applies to. You know what I mean? You want to know who your fans are before they know who they are.
Yeah.
So you want to walk in a room and be like, okay, I know he would listen to me. He probably won't. But he will. She probably won't, but she might. You know what I mean? Like, you want to know.
Yeah, and it's important. It's important. You have to think of yourself like a marketing agency would. You can't be thinking of yourself like, oh, I'm making my music for me. I want to make stuff that's going to mean something to me. You can, but in the end, it doesn't matter if it only resonates with you. I mean, it matters who else is going to feel some type of way when they hear this. And also, are they going to even click the button to hear it?
That's one thing, too. Like, I tell people all the time when they come to me for, like, advertising work, it really all comes down to the content at the end of the day. Like, the content has to be good. You have to be captivating. You have to capture the attention of the audience. And not only do that, but you have to do that quickly. Like, you have 5 seconds. I tell people all the time, like, I'll even tell you, like, you do make your own videos. From now on, when you film your videos, your music videos, make sure you capture the audience within that first 5 seconds. Mm-hmm. Because if you decide to run an ad, that's the time frame they get before they decide whether or not they want to turn you off or not.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
And even if it's like an ad they have to click on, it's how long you hold their attention.
That's all it's about.
People are very quick to just, okay, I'm done.
Takes 30 seconds to register as a stream.
Yeah.
They have to watch your video for at least 30 seconds.
YouTube, right?
For YouTube. And if they don't, it hurts your algorithms. Like,
oh, really?
If they watch it for less than 30 seconds and click off, yeah, that's like... That's like the little, like the Netflix. Ding, 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 you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like you get downvoted. Ding, 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 ding.
It's hard to keep people on for watch time, though. It really is.
That's what I'm saying.
And
like,
YouTube incentivizes that.
dude, in the way the
Bad.
world is now, you really have to come crazy with the content because people are so fucking creative now.
Yeah, we got Mr.
Dude.
Beasts out here, man.
Man, motherfuckers are so creative. I go down these little fucking black holes on TikTok and Facebook Reels, and I'm like, wow, how did you think of this?
Uh-huh.
It's fucking incredible. This is better than TV.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck?
But you have to have the humility to be willing to fail while you do all that too.
For
like,
sure.
Cause you're gonna be throwing things at the wall, and not everything's gonna stick.
You're gonna be looking goofy sometimes.
Uh-huh.
You have to be prepared and ready for that. Accepting.
Now, visuals. You got a lot of visuals out there. So I wanted to ask you, how important do you think visuals are as an artist?
They are the most important thing, except for the music itself.
And why do you feel that way?
Because we live in a world where people don't have very high attention spans, and like I said, people have to be drawn in. We're addicted to stimulation. We have access to any video or any bit of information, any show, movie, game that we want from our pocket, basically. You know what I mean? So it's like you have to do something that is visually stimulating to capture an audience. Listening to music alone just doesn't do it anymore. We live in the world of, interactive art. Like, honestly, I don't even know how much longer videos will be a thing, because think about it now with like the introduction of the meta world and like augmented reality and
Yeah.
and like soon, like, look at Vega, dude. He's doing fucking NFT raps where like he is putting his avatar in real life environments and rapping as the avatar.
Yeah, it's got its own rap name. I just wish I could
It's
remember.
Junior.
Junior
So look that up if you guys are
The
on
world's first NFT rapper.
there. Dude, shout out to Vega for being a fucking
A visionary.
a visionary, a pioneer, being innovative, just seeing that like he is steps ahead of everybody else. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I feel like that's important too as an artist, is learning how to like spot trends and shit before it happens. You know what I mean?
That's the genius of Kanye right there.
dude, for sure. You know
I
what
mean, he's the guy who, even though a lot of his sound changes, you can draw to another artist. He picked up on their sound and made it his own thing.
Drake does that too.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see that happen. You need people like that to kind of move the game forward, in my opinion. And the game's got to go somewhere. I mean, we're headed digital. You're right. We're headed somewhere deeper than video. It feels like.
I think just the audio is just not enough. Like,
Yeah, and the thing is too, I think the audio is not enticing enough even. Like, people like music videos. They want to associate something with the song.
they want to put a face to you. For
Yeah, like it's an interesting thing, because when you're writing a song, you're not thinking about visuals at all.
sure. Don't even care about none of that.
Yeah, and a lot of the time, for me at least, I watch the video later and it's like not exactly what I had in my head. Like, it's a good video,
Yeah.
but the song is so much bigger than whatever the video makes it. Like, in my brain, the
Yeah.
video is almost boxing the song in, because the song is it's anything. It could be anything.
Yeah, but you shoot a lot of your own stuff, right?
I do.
Yeah, see, like that's why I'm glad I have like the Julian Yorks, because like my brain isn't that big. You know what I mean? Like
They'll turn it into something you couldn't have even imagined.
Yeah, like I know my strengths and my weaknesses. Like
Yeah.
marketing, got it handled, fine. Video production, no. Audio production, that's his job. Like I wouldn't, I don't even want to take on that work. He's a professional. Let him do it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
leverage your skill set. That's another
Absolutely.
GaryVee thing right there.
Absolutely. Understand your strengths and your weaknesses. You know what I mean?
And finding people who can complement your strengths and weaknesses.
For sure.
Yeah. Honestly, though, you're right. I bet you if I did a video with a talented videographer with the resume, I would be very satisfied.
Probably bring it
I'd be like, I'm done doing this. I'm done filming my own shit.
bigger than your own expectations.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's also cool just to see someone take your idea or your song and turn it into like a visual representation of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because it's every song is something. Like, I mean, what's interesting to me is people who will see colors, they'll even say songs have colors.
Yeah.
Like, songs have certain colors. And I totally could see how that would make sense. Like, they'll
feel
think
like-
people have colors.
Yeah, all our auras have colors too. Our spirits, like I feel like, and even colors that we can't see, like on the like we can only see a limited amount of colors on the spectrum.
Yeah, and it's also
So-
true that your brain associates colors with certain things. I mean, it's only human instinct, because like blue you see in nature, blue you see in the sky and in water. So blue is often a cool, calming, like nature color. There's all kinds of things like this.
I think warm colors like yellow and orange like spark creativity.
Yeah, and orange is like a warning color too. Like you'll see it in warning signs, or in like orange and
yellow
red.
Too.
And,
Caution tape.
Exactly, but it's like it's the warmth of the color and all of this that nature has almost made things in a way where our brain associates certain things. Like red is fire, red is energetic, red is love. Like there's so many different things, but it's all a visual thing. It's all subconscious. It's very important. Like I think that visuals are, I agree with you, I think visuals are ridiculously important. If you are an artist and you don't do visuals, you are not even, you're so cutting yourself off. Like you're basically just
you're
making songs
yourself
to not do anything with them, because videos are almost part of the game now.
They are.
Yeah.
They're just as important as the fucking, the beat you select.
You got a video in particular I'd like to ask you about. Your video with YNJ and Jeff Sky. Now, how did that one come together? Because it's very similar to Jeff Sky's other animated videos.
How that came? Well, first of all, it wasn't even supposed to be animated video at all. It was supposed to be a real live video. We actually flew out to California to film that video specifically, and we weren't able to. What had happened was we was basically out in California, and we had some people over at our house, the Airbnb that we had, and we had told them like, hey, we need to create a party scene for this video that we're shooting. We got YNJ pulling up. We need about 15 people. Well, one of the people that was with us was Polo G's hype man, and he was like, oh, you need some people to pull up? I got you. So he starts calling people. We're like, cool, this is awesome. He's gonna bring us some people. It's gonna save us a headache, whatever. Well, I don't know how it worked. One person must have called one person. Another person must have called another person. That person called a group of people. And that group of people brought another group of people. And that group of people brought 20 more people. Next thing you know, we got a fucking house full of like 300 people. And if you've ever been to California, you know how shit works in LA. Like people don't drive. Everybody Ubers everywhere. So we had all these people getting dropped off at our house, and they just kept coming one after carload after another, after another, after another. And then it gets to the point where we're like, fuck, we can't even film in here. This is like a real party going on. And
it got too big.
Yeah, so we're basically telling everybody like, hey.
I mean, there's a point where it's like, damn, there's a lot of people here. This is really going to be really good for the video.
And dude, we're in Beverly Hills, so like we're in a real house, like in a real neighborhood, and we're like, we know that like the neighbors are gonna get pissed, cops are coming, and everything. We're like, dude, we can't do this. We're gonna get kicked off Airbnb. Like
That's what I would be worried about.
We gotta end this party. So we start to end it. We start sending everybody home. We basically cancel the video. We're like, fuck, dude.
Everybody call your Uber.
Yeah.
You gotta leave.
Yeah, and actually, you can actually see all this too. It's on one of the vlogs. It's I believe it's on my page or Ahab's page.
Oh, it must be on Ahab. Because you only have a couple on yours.
When I leave today, I'll send you the link. You can link it with the.
I want to see this.
Yeah, so you can link it with this if you want, because it's funny. Like, you see all these people fucking just partying up in our house and whatever. The cops do get called. They all come. We kick everybody out. We got 300 people standing in the street waiting for Ubers to come. This is a big fucking mess. You know what I mean? So I'm like, fuck, man. Well, we can't shoot this video now. Like, what are we going to do? Well, Julian York's like, don't worry about it. We can shoot Searching for Forever. So that's what we shot that. We weren't even supposed to shoot that. So we ended up shooting Searching for Forever while we was in California. We shot it on the other side of the Hollywood sign at the Hollywood Hills over there. And then when we came home, I basically just reached out to an animator online. I ended up finding him, and I reached out to him and sent him a deposit and explained the situation and gave him basically like a little treatment or like how I wanted it to play out. And then they brought it to life, through animation. But it wasn't supposed to be like that. It was supposed to be a real life video and like.
But it's a happy accident.
Yeah, it just got out of control, man. It was just like as soon as people knew YNJ was coming, they were like, oh my God, the Coochie Man. And like, fuck, dude, next thing you know, it's just a house full of people like trying to just get a glimpse of the Coochie Man and shit.
That's beautiful.
Dude, yeah.
This Coochie Man galore. And that's probably the magic of LA too, is it's so concentrated that you have to imagine that wasn't completely foreign to, like, they probably see that kind of stuff.
Dude, it's normal for them.
Yeah.
You can tell it was too, because they're just too comfortable in a stranger's house. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't like they were. You could tell like that's just what they do. Like house party. Oh, what's up? We there?
Yeah, because I mean, LA cops probably are a whole different breed than the cops around here.
Yeah, and especially in Beverly Hills though. Like that was the main thing. Like it's not like we were in fucking Inglewood. We were
right.
Like,
You're in a nice neighborhood.
Yeah, like we were in a really nice neighborhood.
Yeah, and you're looking around like, damn, bro, it's popping up in this house.
Yeah.
I don't know about this. That's kind of a shame though, just because. Would have been a great video.
Would have been a dope video.
Yeah.
Super dope video.
Especially you had everybody there.
Had like a real party. You'll see it if you guys watch it.
And this is all incentive. Go watch the video and watch why this was ruined.
Yes.
You'll understand when you see the sea
You'll see
of people.
Figure the kid all drunk, like trying to fight people as he's kicking him out.
Really?
It was fucked up.
He was the authority.
Yeah. And it's funny if you know Fig. Fig's an awesome guy, like super friendly. That's like he's not aggressive at all. That's what makes it funny. Is like he's just like
he did what he had to do.
Yeah, all liquored up, like kicking people out.
Sometimes you need that social lubricant to make things happen.
Yeah,
sometimes you need it. That's a beautiful story, and it's cool that you were able to get an animator that quickly. Because I've truly thought that the video was simply a play on Jeff Sky's animated videos. And that was the idea. I really thought that it was just like you had made a song with Jeff, and you were like, okay, now it would be smart to do an animated video since Jeff, that's kind of Jeff's lane.
I wish that was the story, but nope.
But hey, it works even better that way, though. There's like there's a whole story behind the failure of it.
I think
and you got to go to LA.
I was talking to Trav and Ahab yesterday. You know Trav, Cryptic Phil.
Yeah.
They're gonna be the ones shooting and directing the Stranger Things video that's coming up. And I was telling them, like, man, it'd be kind of cool if we can play off of Jeff flicks. Like, maybe have the little introduction video, like, before the beat or anything comes on, where, like, he comes home and, like, he's wearing his robe, kicks his feet up, fires up the Jeff flicks, clicks on the Stranger Things, and then, boom, the music video starts. Like, I feel like that'd be cool as fuck.
It'd be a great cameo, too, right?
Yeah, for sure. And then, like, cross-promotion, and people can go back, like, people who would have probably never seen it
also doesn't let Jeff Licks die, because Jeff Licks is a great bit.
Dude, we got to keep it alive as long as possible. What a fucking brilliant idea. Like, it breaks my heart. I actually wrote Jeff the other day. I was like, we got to run more ads or do something, because, like, it hasn't got the love and attention it rightfully deserves.
Yeah, for those that aren't aware, Jeff Sky made a music video where it starts as if, or maybe is it the whole video that's like this, where it's like scrolling through Netflix and going on different shows.
And they're all
and it's
like
Jeff on all the shows.
Yeah, they're all like different versions of him.
And it's edited great. Like it looks like somebody's on Netflix.
Yeah, Brandon Bailey did that.
Did he?
Yeah, creative. They're conscious creatives, or I think it's creative consciousness. I can't remember.
I think it is conscious creatives. I think you might be right.
It's conscious creatives. Some of them, one of them, I don't know. He probably thumped me upside the head like dummy. You know what I mean? But I hope I didn't sabotage.
If we're wrong, tell us in the comments.
Yeah,
please.
let us know.
Correct us. But yeah.
Sorry, Brandon. I love you.
I feel like that's impressive editing there, because you have to recreate the menus of Netflix.
Top
to bottom, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that video deserves all the love and appreciation and attention it could get. And, like, I honestly, I feel it falls on us, too. Like, let's not let Jeff down. Like, let's go share that shit. I'm going to go home. Well, I'm blocked, but...
Shout out Jeff Sky, as always.
As soon as I get unblocked, I'm going to share it for you.
I'll go share it right now. I'm not blocked. I'll go share it.
I'm going to tell my Aunt Sally to share that shit.
I'll go share Jeff Licks. I'll share Jeff Licks once every day this week, just because we had this conversation.
Yeah,
you know what's nice? Jeff, when I was performing at my last show, he came from Porch Fest. I performed late as hell. It was like 11:10, 11:15, and I remember he walked up, and as I was rapping, I was in front of everybody, and he gave me a little nod and a little fist bump, and I was mid-rap, and it was great, and I appreciate that, Jeff. I appreciate that, man. He just dropped by. He just dropped by to give me a little nod.
And how important is that, too, to, like, with everything that he's got going on, for him just to just show up and acknowledge you in your moment.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? He's already got his own thing going on. Like, that's what's so cool about Jeff. You know what I mean? Like,
he's a real one.
He'll show up. He'll show up to your shit. He don't care. You know what I mean? Like, all the popularity bullshit don't matter. Like, he's going to show up. Yeah. He's going to show support. He's going to show love every time.
Yeah. And that's what it's all about, man. It's about the community of it all. Like, I think that social media gets things wrong. I think that, because in the end, all most of us are doing is we're in music to spread that love.
Yeah, that's for sure. And Jeff was one of the artists. Like, I actually got to spend a lot of time with Jeff through traveling, going around. Like he went with us, to Utah, Cali, Chicago. Like I got to really know him off when the cameras were turned off. You know what I mean? And like he was one of the inspirations to me to kind of want to humble myself. Like I realized people love Jeff. You know what I mean?
Because it's good vibes.
Yeah, good vibes. It don't have nothing to do with his music.
Yeah.
It's just him. You know what I mean? It's cool. Like, he's just himself. He ain't trying to be nobody.
And what's cool about it is that he's found a way to translate that into his music.
Yeah.
Because it really is just like that part of, you can tell he's being himself when he raps.
It makes it hard to root against him. How could you ever root against a guy like that?
Yeah, he's like a hometown hero, man.
Dude, you know what I mean? So, like, shout out to Jeff, for real. I'm always be a huge Jeff fan no matter what. Like,
yeah.
Just Jeff the person.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck what he's doing. Music, podcast, whatever, basketball. I'm like, go Jeff. You know what I mean? Like, it don't matter. It's Jeff. He's cool as fuck.
Because he deserves it.
Facts.
Yeah. Well, I got one more little question for you. This is going to be my longest podcast yet. I just want to tell you.
We're just rambling.
We're doing great. We're doing great. Because the thing is, how you know we're doing great is when there's no dead air. That's how you know it's doing good.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. But man, Dallas, Texas.
Yeah.
We went to Dallas, Texas on a vlog. Now, I forgot we had more vlogs on the Ahab channel because this is the one that was on your channel.
Yes.
So, and I knew I had seen more. Like, I'd seen vlogs in the mountains. That must have been on Ahab.
Yeah.
And, But how many vlogs have we done, and where can people find these? Because it's cool stuff.
Yeah, they're actually, some are on Jeff's channel, some are on Ahab's channel, some are on my channel, but they're all pretty much linked to each other through like the end links or whatever. I'm talking about at the end of the YouTube video. But they're pretty much scrambled around. But if you do go to my YouTube page, I do have a playlist that's specifically vlogs.
Okay.
So they are all there. They're not all on my channel, but you can find them all there in that playlist.
They're all put in a list for you guys, nice and easy.
And I even took time to organize them.
Yeah.
So like it starts with episode 1.
Chronological order.
It is.
Yeah.
There's a whole timeline.
That's good.
Yeah.
So they can start from the start and end at the end.
Watch a whole journey from fucking...
Was it a trip? Was that what it was? One trip?
Multiple trips.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, like it started off... the first vlog was with Ahab and Jeff. I wasn't even in it. They went to, I want to say, Atlanta. And they just filmed some shit there. And then the next trip from there was... I want to say Chicago. Was it Chicago after that? That was the first one. Or no, the next one was at the pool party in Detroit for the Just Like That video.
Mm.
Oh, yeah.
And then we shot a bunch of shit, and I'm like, damn, vlog. I want to vlog everything. Like, come on, let's go on, trips and shit. So like, we went out
like GaryVee.
Yeah, we went out to fucking Chicago, filmed all that. Went to Utah, filmed all that. Dallas, filmed all that. Cali, filmed all that. So it's like, it's actually something that I really enjoy doing. I'd love to do some more of it. Hopefully we can plan some more trips, man. Maybe even bring you along.
I will be there.
That would be dope. Get
I'll
you on
there.
a couple trips, man.
I was watching those videos like, damn, I know those guys.
And we ain't really doing nothing, just having fun, eating good food, like handling business,
But it's great for networking, to just put yourself in a different place, feel that vibe they got there. You need to get out of this area.
Dude, getting out of
here.
Flint or just your hometown. Like, I don't care where you're watching, like where you're from. Like, get out of your hometown.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Make time for yourself to go out somewhere and experience new things, new cultures, new people, and just breathe it in and enjoy it, man, because Flint is not all the world has to offer. It's not even close.
No.
You know what I mean? So
Wherever you are, it's not even close, no matter where. Because, you just need to gain some perspective, if anything.
you do. It teaches you a lot about yourself.
Yeah, and you get locked in the mindset of the people around you without even realizing it. Because you escape that mindset, and then you're like, wow, people think completely differently here. And it just gives you a whole new lease on life, I feel like.
And not only that, like, you learn, a lot about not only yourself, but, like, your friends and stuff. Like I said, I had the privilege of traveling with Jeff and, like, got to know him, during that time frame and shit. So, like...
You got to see him outside of this bubble, even.
Yeah, and, like, now I have memories and experiences that'll last a lifetime.
Yeah.
And then we've even documented it. When I watch those videos that we were talking about, they mean a lot more to me than they probably would most people. I get to relive an experience that I had. You know what I mean? It's like a flashback in real time.
Yeah. That's one reason I love doing any videos at all, is you never know the value of that stuff, man.
You never
and
do.
You can go back and look at it, and it's like a little time capsule.
It is, for sure.
I feel like we've had a beautiful conversation, man.
Dude, we did. I know that's the thing. Like, I just love the art of conversation, open dialogue. Like, that's why I'm so excited you had me here. I'm thankful for the opportunity just to talk. Like, hopefully your viewers enjoy it. So let us know in the comments if you do. Maybe he'll bring me back sometime.
Oh, well, hey, let's plug. Is this really going to happen? The
It's
Wav
gonna
Village?
happen.
The Wav
Let's do
Village?
it. Let's tell him it's gonna happen.
So, for episode 50 of RUSE Radio, we are going to have a Wav Village blowout extravaganza. What?
Yes.
What? Now, who
Yes.
can we feature in this? Who are you thinking?
Anybody. If you're involved in the Flint community, we would love to have you. This is basically going to be our going away segment. I'm going to reach out, try to get a couple sponsors involved, see what kind of giveaways we can do. And this is basically going to be our last hoorah, like well, I don't know. I don't even want to say last hoorah. Maybe
In
this-
the Flint
At
location.
Patterson.
at the old location. So like, I don't know. Let's try to give your viewers a treat by inviting some very special guests.
Yeah. It'll be a little Irish goodbye,
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
And I'm excited. I'm excited because you know what? They got a nice little studio in there. It's gonna be sad. We could pull the table out at the very end. We could tear it all down.
Yeah. And you guys can see that, and
We'll take the TV down mid podcast.
yeah, we're gonna I'm probably gonna blow a couple farewell blunts in there. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, we'll set off some fireworks. Fuck you,
Yeah.
Patterson Building. We'll blow off some blunts. We'll set off some fireworks. We'll watch the ceiling drip. It'll be a great time.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But thank you guys for being here. Thanks for tuning in. If you've watched this whole thing, you're a true, what do you call your fans? I call
Friends.
mine, oh my gosh, what's this? What's it doing to me? I haven't seen it do this before. It didn't stop our recording though. All right, so if you are a true Kevin Clouds fan, what are your fans called? What do we call them?
They're just friends to me.
If you're a real friend, mine are roosters. If you're my real roosters, all right? If you're part of the Coop Troop, and you are just by watching this, thank you so much, all right? You stuck around this long, my God. And also, thank you, Weet, for coming out. Unexpected guest.
You're welcome. I just do random pop-ups,
That's literally what he does. If you can watch some videos of Flint rappers, and you'll be like, hey, that's the guy. That's what it is.
That's that guy.
You might spot me like Waldo, but shit, I'm usually there.
Yeah, he's usually Weet. I'm usually there. Thank you guys so much for being here. RUSE Radio, clocking out.